Good evening. Welcome to the Sunday Pub. This is the first Sunday Pub I think this is the fourth week. So 3 weeks without a Sunday Pub, which is a pity. The first 2 weeks, my brain just wouldn't really let me. And last week, I took a nap, which turned out to be a mistake. And I needed the nap so badly, I slept through my alarm. I totally intended to do it last week. I really did. For anyone who's here for the first time, welcome. And if you don't know what this is, it's a Bookish nerdery hangout where I write a different group of people every week, and whoever wants to join joins. And I'm a little flustered, I must say, because I wrote a number of people, and I'm used to almost nobody being here when the stream starts. But we've got Joe. For anyone who is unfortunate enough not to know Joe or JCM Byrne, he is an author. He writes awesome books about superheroes in space, a series called The Hybrid Helix, and he's also a mensch. Speaking of mention, we've also got Philip Chase, Dr. Fantasy himself.
Can't escape this guy.
Joe, I didn't know you were going to be here.
I didn't know you were going to be here.
Long time no see.
The
Famousest booktuber on the booktubes.
Yeah.
and an English professor who reads One Piece, apparently. I keep seeing that headline.
So they say.
Like every 2 days. So that's Dr. Philip Chase, who is actually not a doctor, if I remember correctly.
I am a doctor. Actually.
Oh, you are a doctor. Okay, I got that backwards.
Not a physician.
Not the kind that can actually help you with anything.
Right, a useless doctor.
Yes.
If you're on an airplane, can someone interpret these?
The
ancient Nordic poems. It's an emergency.
Yes, if you want some old English translations, I'm actually your man.
So you don't put your hand up if someone says, "Is there a doctor on board?"
I mean, I could, but it probably would cause an unnecessary delay.
Be a little bit embarrassing.
Hey, you want me to recite Beowulf? And they'll look at me like I'm kind of a jerk. No, somebody's having a heart attack. I can recite Beowulf.
Maybe that'll soothe them.
It could help. I mean, you never know what people like. Someone might be really in love with Beowulf, and it could bring them back from the brink.
It could happen,
but unlikely. Speaking of awesome, Derry is also here.
Good morning, everybody.
All the way from New Zealand.
It's wonderful to see you all.
Likewise.
Sleep well, Derry?
I like that Jerome caught what I was doing backstage, which was pointing madly at my Dungeon Crawler Carl sign, as you were saying how wonderfully in tune with One Piece our Dr. Philip Chase is. Because, yes, we also form part of the oldies who love DCC club.
My goodness. I would put my hand up, but I DNF'd the first book.
Which you're totally allowed to do.
Yeah, I'd better be, because I did it and nobody arrested me. So.
Speak for yourself, Terry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's my license to be a book police person just hasn't arrived. I don't know where to send the application.
I lost my badge.
Speaking of gray-haired people on BookTube.
Oh, wow.
Jared is also here.
Hi.
Howdy.
How are you, Jared?
I am good, thank you.
Good to see you, man.
What the doctor ordered today.
Excellent.
That's right.
Dr. Chase, yeah.
This is a certain demographic here. Hopefully, all your guests are over 50, Matt.
I always invite Tori to try and avoid this problem. To bring the average age down by 30 years. And Tori's on vacation this weekend. So
Tori.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh well. But
having fun, we hope.
Yeah, well it sounded like it. We texted a bit and it sounded like she was having a great time. She and the fam.
Nice.
How is everybody?
Writing heaps.
Good.
Have you authors been writing? Plenty?
We hope.
I almost finished with my rough draft. All I have left is the denouement, or as I like to call it, the denouement.
Isn't it denouement?
That's Philip might disagree. I don't know. I'm not a teacher. I don't have students to argue.
I mean,
with
you guys live in America. Surely it's denouement.
I'm sure by presidential order, it'll be that from now on.
Exactly.
Jerry's not the book police, and I'm not the word police.
There you go.
Only the old English police.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling an enormous sense of relief that things came together. Writing epilogues is always easy because you kind of know what's going in there. There's no pacing. You're just like, okay, I've got to get these things down. So I'm in that, like, I can't believe it worked. Like the ending worked. So I'm thrilled.
Cool.
And
Well done.
I mean, whether other people will think it worked, that's a separate story. But I hit my word count, all the plot elements lined up. It's like, okay. So I'm good. Thank you.
We've got over 50s in the chat as well, so
There we go.
we're not
Which is why it's the awesomest chat. Let's face it.
exactly exactly because you're old. If you're not old, fuck off. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Young people are welcome in the chat. In
They
fact,
do often have too many fucks to spend, though, and it gets a bit
Yes.
exhausting.
Yeah,
So
exactly. What about you, Philip? Dr. Fantasy? Herr Professor Doctor?
Yeah, and you're asking me about writing. Is that what
Yes.
you're-
yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I am not writing as much as I would like, but that's typical in life. And having written 4 books before getting into YouTube, I'm finding that doing YouTube and writing books at the same time is actually a lot harder.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Crazy.
The thing about writing, Matt, and everyone else is you especially, I think, well, it doesn't matter if you're indie or traditional. For the vast majority of people who write books, you have to spend 80 to 90% of your time marketing rather than writing. And that's a killer, because here I want to be this, in my ivory tower with my quill and my vellum and doing my thing and not being disturbed by anything but the wind outside. And I got to put on my tweed and go out and market. So it is the conundrum of the modern author that you do have to put on that public face and make sure people even know you exist before you can, get anyone to read your story. So, yeah.
But I've also thought, specifically since I know you and Tori, I've thought that being a booktuber with quite an audience has got to be a relatively good advantage already compared to like an indie author who literally no one has ever heard of.
Yeah. But doing all that just takes a crap load of time,
Yeah, sure.
Yep. But yeah, it is. But the thing is, I wish I had been born with a YouTube channel. Of course, when I was born, there was no
There
internet.
was no YouTube when we were that young.
No, when we were born, there was no internet.
No
let
internet.
alone
I mean,
YouTube.
I started writing my trilogy before even YouTube was around. That's how long I've been
Well,
working.
there you go.
Yeah,
But yeah.
unimaginable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hasn't YouTube always been around?
Feels like it.
Didn't the Sumerians invent YouTube?
They should have.
Ron wants to know: do you actually have a literal quill?
No, I actually don't.
Oh.
No.
Birthday
No.
gift idea,
The
right?
illusion
There
is
you go.
broken.
Yeah, you gotta get one of those.
I actually do write with this.
Oh my God! You just shattered the entire picture.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
not
I was
very old
imagining.
English, but-
I was imagining that those bookshelves behind you
Yeah.
continue in like a complete circle, and you literally are inside a tower.
My tower. Yeah. Well, that part is true.
Okay.
You can keep imagining that.
All right. I'm happy to know that that's the case at least.
When I was shopping for my house, there was a house in Yonkers with an actual like 4-story tower in it. And it was small. So like the rooms were, maybe 10 by 10, 12 by 12. That was the size of the tower. But I was like, I could have like a writing office with like windows around where you could like look out and see the river. It wasn't in a great neighborhood and there were other reasons not to buy the house, but it was like so tempting. Couldn't convince my wife to go for it.
My dad, my stepmother, my dad's dead, but my dad and stepmother lived for a long time in St. Augustine, Florida. And it's a gorgeous town. It's on a harbor. It's got a beach, and it's historical. It's got this old fort nearby, Spanish fort. And there's a guy down the street, right on the interstate that goes up and down the whole east coast of Florida. And he started building something. And everybody was like, what's going on? And word sort of circulated about him. Apparently, God told him to build a castle. And it wasn't really a castle. It was basically just a tower. But he built, it's like 3 or 4 stories tall out of stone blocks.
Nice.
And then, which I thought was cool because, I'm into medievalish, fantasy-ish stuff. And then he ruined it by putting a neon cross on top of it.
Oh.
So when you go down the interstate in that area at night, especially, you see this glowing blue cross hovering in the sky, and then you get up to the tower, and you're like, okay, that's odd.
Is it really a cross though? It could just be an X marks the spot.
Yeah, generally X's are like this and crosses are like that. And it's
what angle you're
Maybe
coming
he
from.
got it crooked.
maybe he screwed up. Maybe it's just not mounted very well, and it just sort
Yeah,
of
maybe
rotated.
Look it up
in
like
ways.
this.
Like a leaning tower. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The thing I'm amazed at is he got, I assume he got building permission for it.
Permission. Mm.
Like, what?
It's Florida. Do they have building codes?
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. I mean, they do keep letting people, basically in exactly the same spot on the other side of the street. They do keep letting people build on top of eroding sand dunes.
Yeah.
So there are, like, every 5 or 10 years, there's a big, oh my God, 5 houses fell into the ocean drama,
What
Because-
a surprise. It's never happened before.
Yeah, we how could we know?
If it's a plus sign, we need to buy the house next to it and build another tower and put in like a divided by symbol. And then just like, oh, we're just learning math here on the freeway.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's a plus
We're just
sign. and-
encouraging STEM learning. It's
Yeah.
important.
I don't
Yeah.
care what it is so much as that it's neon. That's the problem I have with it.
Yeah, if it was a respectable wooden cross, I'd be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be
okay,
cool.
that it
Yeah.
goes well. It kind of
Yes.
goes with the theme. It fits.
It could
the
be
castle.
LEDs, and those things are brutal.
Yeah, it's bright.
Tower plus keep equals castle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a keep, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's next.
The other weird thing about it is, like, if you're just driving by, there's like palm trees and you can just sort of see it sticking up above. But if you go for a walk
This
in
is
the
becoming
area
more and more insane.
and you really look at where it's built, he's got a really typical Florida swamp house, because there is a salt marsh right there. He's got a like typical house, like every other house in the area. And then right
Random
next to
neon
it,
tower.
right next to it is this gray stone tower. You're like,
Madness.
yeah, it's kind of bizarre.
But it's basic. It's the next marks the spot for madness. Is what you're telling me.
Exactly.
ultimately.
Where are the crazy people in Florida, in St. Augustine? Right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
If I didn't have an HOA, man, I'd be out there today with the cinder blocks,
Yeah.
starting my tower. But
Yeah. You should have moved to Yonkers, man.
I would have been tempted.
Yeah.
I understand completely.
What have you all been reading lately?
Nope.
I did a reread of Dungeon Crawler Carl yesterday because I couldn't get it out of my mind after talking to Philip about it last week. I had to. I just had to. Okay.
Well, and it is the name of your channel.
It's becoming so. It's that's all right. I'm returning to my roots, though. I do have a discussion planned with Joanna and Bookborn about life ships, which may shock my channel people. I've returned to Hob.
She's not talking about Matt anymore.
Yeah.
Book 8 is called Life Ships? Dungeon. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. That'd be a hell of a flaw. That'd be a hell of a flaw.
That would be very confusing. Philip, what have you been reading?
Well, I'm reading 3 things right now. One is Enemy of God by Bernard Cornwell. That's the second book in the Warlord Chronicles. And
Haven't you? I thought you'd read that before.
no, this is my first time reading.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it's fun. I'm having a great time. Merlin is the best.
You reading that with PL?
I'm reading that with PL Stewart. Yep, and we're gonna have a chat on his channel. I think it's the 21st of this month on Enemy of God. So I'm about a third of the way through it right now.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
Loads
Sorry, I'm so excited for you.
And I'm reading audio booking a book called Children of the Gods by S.A. Klopfenstein or Klopfenstein. I don't know if he says Steen or Stein, but anyway, he's an indie author, and it's a really great narration. By the way, the narrator's voice is this very bass British voice, and he does a really fantastic job narrating. So yeah. That's been great so far. And of course I'm reading One Piece. I'm getting to the end of the next saga, which is a kind of a big long one, and I'm absolutely loving it. So it's time to gear up for one of those One Piece videos that you've been wanting to watch, Matt.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you do anymore, isn't it?
I mean, no. I just talked to Derry about Dungeon Crawler Carl.
But it was like English professor reads and discusses Dungeon Crawler Car, right?
No, it was 4 people over 50 talk about Dungeon Crawler Carl, similar to this particular.
Yes.
Okay.
Funny.
This wasn't planned. I did invite people under 50. Maybe not many.
Only the
but
best people showed up.
yeah, exactly.
That's right. Old people come through. Just remember that.
If we're not napping.
True.
Touche.
Yeah.
I'm
Sadly,
guilty of it, so I'm allowed.
sadly, this has happened before. I think the first time it happened was a while ago, and I think everyone like suspected I had died or something.
We were
And-
worried.
And
Oh,
since that happened, and it turned out to be a nap, nobody worried this time. They were all like, Matt's probably just sleeping. He's an old man. Yeah. So, Jared, what are you reading?
I am currently reading a Conan book.
Oh, my God.
Ooh.
It's this is like has 2 novels in it, so I'm on the second novel in here. It's Conan and the Living Plague. So it's actually a blast. It's a lot of fun.
They're Howard Conan stories.
No, they're not. These are actually
okay.
these are brand new ones by John Hawking
Okay.
and from Titan Books. And Titan's doing a really nice job of doing news stories with novel prose and comics.
Right.
And I'm enjoying them immensely. Not it's not Howard, but it's still a lot of fun. And I just I'm also in Song of the Mysteries, book 11 in the Wars of Light and Shadow.
Right.
I'm in the middle of that, so that's very exciting to be almost complete with that huge, humongous series. Yeah, and I just finished this book called Orbital, which is a little sci-fi novella
Can't see the
by Samantha Harvey.
Okay.
She has very good descriptive. It's like a big description of the planet Earth from space,
Oh, okay.
and it's kind of boring actually. It's like somebody describing a painting basically, and I wish there was a little bit more story to it other than just this big description from space. But it was very
The whole
pretty.
thing.
The whole
thing
thing
is the
basically, yeah.
description of Earth from space.
Pretty much from a space station, and she does describe some of the antics of being in a space station too, but it was kind of boring to be honest with you. But I got through it. It was beautiful writing. Like the writing is
Right.
The descriptions are beautiful. But so I can understand why people like it, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
wasn't for me.
good prose is not quite enough.
Yeah, but but the Conan is a blast. It's fun.
Cool.
It's fun.
What about you, Derry? Oh, you're rereading Dungeon Crawler Carl?
Yeah.
Still?
I feel like I should be at an AA meeting. Okay. Yeah.
Gary, are you doing the audiobook or are you reading the physical book?
I'm audioing it because
Okay.
I'm doing a deep clean of my flat. because I have an apartment inspection coming up. So it actually helps keep me company while I clean. And yeah. But I do. I put it on and I felt guilty. I was like, are you seriously listening to this again? And I was like, yeah, I am. And I had a full-on argument with myself about the fact that A, I'm a grown-up and I'm allowed, and B, you're a grown-up. Why are you re-listening to this ridiculous book?
It's your channel's thing, though. Like,
apparently.
why? I mean, I've been in so many conversations with you where you're like, well, I just read the entire Realm of the Elderlings for the 25th time, and blah blah blah. And like, why should you feel bad for getting into
the rereading thing is very
again?
much in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I just very much feel that I've abandoned everything else in the last year, because it's only been a year since I discovered this series, and I'm pretty sure I'm on my 7th read, and that's a lot.
So it's like that guilt you feel when you break up with your boyfriend.
A bit.
Or more like the bliss.
Am I allowed to be having this much fun?
When you find a new one, that sounds like more like bliss to me.
It is
I've done it once, so I'll say it's like the guilt you feel when you break up with your girlfriend because you already found a new one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
You're having an emotional affair with Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah.
That should be the name of the channel.
I'm in love with it every time.
An emotional affair with Matt Dinneman.
Totally am. Wow. It's terrible.
Or Jeff Hayes, because he's an awesome audiobook narrator.
Oh, he is just breathtaking. Yeah. I was listening to him, and there was a moment when he went between 4 different voices in probably less than 2 minutes. And I just was sitting here last night thinking, that is such an amazing talent. And there will have been a gap in our history when that talent simply wasn't recognized, because, as I'm sure Philip will agree, for a long time, being able to tell a story fantastically well was treasured pretty much everywhere, because that was where you got your entertainment. And then we stopped doing that because we got books and TV and internet, and we could get our stories somewhere else. But now we're kind of refinding these treasures of people who can tell stories and do voices and give stuff to the story.
Yeah, and now Amazon wants to hand it all over to AI. Yeah.
AI,
well,
yeah.
Jeff Hayes, I think, is a spearhead in opposition to that, to go,
I hope so.
This is why this is a poor idea, because
we got into a little discussion about that on Twitter just recently. So.
Did we?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are having a little discussion about that right now. Yeah.
They're pushing ACX, which is Audible's, basically, that's the behind the scenes Audible, is pushing their AI narrator garbage really hard right now. So that's why it's coming up a lot. Yeah.
It's going to make them a lot of money because a lot of people don't care that much, I think, or wouldn't notice the difference.
Narrators' money, because
of course, but it's going to make Amazon a lot of money because they're going to stop paying narrators. They don't need to; they just need to feed the text into a machine, and out the other end comes an audio file. So, I am reading Jared.
Yeah,
I'm not actually reading at all right now. I've had I've been struggling with reading lately. Annoyingly, famously it took me I don't know how many pubs to finish House of Open Wounds by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which was brilliant. The book wasn't the problem. I'm the problem. And then I read this, not all of it, but it's a short story collection, Shadows, Stars, and Sabers. I read one story in it, which is an Adrian Tchaikovsky, which is a story that takes place between City of Last Chances and House of Open Wounds. And it involves, won't name any names, but it involves the main character of both books and kind of what he was doing between the books, which is pretty cool. I recently got this, which Jared might also be interested in.
And I just ordered it, yeah.
Joe as well, Serpent in the Garden. It's a story in the world of Hellboy. Hellboy's in it, but like really just a cameo appearance. It's by Mike Mignola, but it's really by Ben Steinbeck and Dave Stewart. Because Hellboy is this sort of shared universe that a lot of different people write and draw and whatever. And I bought this ages ago. Like, this is everything
It's a
Conan.
really lovely book.
Yeah, it's everything Conan by Robert E. Howard, and yeah, it's massive. I've never read any Conan story, and it's one of those.
Wow, really?
It's one of those things where you just like, you should have read some Conan, at least one story, you know.
Yeah.
And my off the screen best friend Jason is probably one of the 10 preeminent Conan experts in the world. Like, literally.
I'm sorry. You have friends outside of BookTube who
I
read
do.
the same books as you?
I'm sorry, I have
I will
one.
feel betrayed.
I have one. Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah. Although we have, like, when it really gets into it, it's like fantasy. Yes, we both read fantasy. But when we really get into it,
Jeez, Matt. I don't know, Matt. First you
No
told
chance.
us about the girlfriend you ditched, and now this. I don't know.
yeah.
It's an emotional betrayal on every level. It's just, I don't know.
Sorry, Natalia. But yeah. We're actually still friends. I was just texting with the one I ditched a couple of days ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
so now we're
still
getting
friends.
jealous of you in real life because, you know, let's all be honest. We all just like that for ourselves.
It's mostly her. It's not because of me. It's because she's really, really sweet
Really,
and
a good person.
forgave me. But Jason is a writer, primarily of role-playing materials. And he has written more Conan adventures for the Conan game than anyone else.
Wow.
And he, like, I was
And
talking.
you hadn't read any Conan?
Yeah, totally. And
That's
and
funny.
and I was at his place having drinks, and I said that, and he went over to the shelf and he pulled this off, and it was almost ruined. Right? He's just used it for so many years and read it so many times and flipped through it for reference. It was just worn, and the binding was almost falling apart and everything. And he was like, "I can lend you this." I'm like, "Dude, I know I should read Conan. Don't worry."
I have some of his stuff in my role-playing library. That's interesting.
Yeah, Jason Giral.
Yeah.
He's written a lot of role-playing stuff. He's also huge on Amber. There's a role-playing game based on Amber, The Chronicles of Amber by Roger Zelazny.
Cool.
And he was friends with the guy who created the game. And Jason is kind of like a role-playing world celebrity. In fact, right now he's at a conference in Poland where he's the guest of honor.
Ooh, fancy.
I mean, being a role-playing celebrity is kind of like being a BookTube celebrity.
I was literally just thinking that. I was thinking, so like famous, like Philip is famous.
Famous in a very small corner of the world. Yeah. Yeah.
We all know who Philip is.
Yeah. We all know who Philip is.
You guys do.
Role-playing nerds may know who Jason is, but like
I do. Yeah.
he's not a household name yet.
We actually have an ad
Just
campaign
read-
in New Zealand that kind of really plays on that because you can be world famous in New Zealand. And that's the thing we all play on because it's New Zealand. We know we're tiny. So when somebody gets big in New Zealand, we're also very aware that probably still no one else has heard of them. So they're world famous in New Zealand. So, you know,
As an
it's a
Australian,
whole thing.
as an Australian, we also kind of have a joke about that where like pretty much any Australian band you can name
Is actually Kiwi.
if you say these guys are one of the bands that got really big and they're from Australia, they're actually from New Zealand. And they moved to Australia to get big. Because you can't get big in New Zealand.
Oh, my biggest pet peeve is Crowded House being claimed because they're ours.
I saw Crowded House on a reunion tour, and they played a theater in Sydney, And they came out on stage and they said, "It's so good to be back here. We've played this theater so many times, and this is where our career started." So for me, they're Sydney soaps.
Where their career started, but their musicianship, seriously. They come from a town called Te Awamutu, which is a tiny little
Which
town.
is obviously
like, population
right
is
next to Sydney.
teeny. No.
Wait, do these Kiwi musicians, when they become famous in Australia, drop their Kiwi accent and sound like Australians?
Kiwis sound just like Australians as long as you don't ask them to say six
We do not.
or deck.
Australians, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jim Owen, there's a stand-up comedian who did a perfect sketch about Australian accents. And he said listening to Australians is like listening to somebody driving who doesn't know how to change gears. Where they just keep getting higher and higher pitched. And yeah.
It's especially
not sound like it.
the strange thing about that is I've really because I'm not originally Australian either. I'm kind of an outsider looking in, or was for a long time. The getting higher at the end of the sentence is a very female thing in Australia. Men don't do it nearly as much as women, but it's almost standard with women.
Here.
That they'll just always go up at the end of the sentence, and you're like, "Are you uncertain about what you just said? You phrased it as a question." It's very strange, but yeah, you're definitely right about that. But yeah, Kiwis have to go somewhere else.
We tend to
get famous.
mumble as a group of people. There's not a lot of enunciation. So when you add in who else was it? Another comedian. I can't think who it was. They said we have random vowel syndrome. So whatever is standard somewhere else in the world is not necessarily standard in New Zealand. And it can be different region to region, how a particular vowel is pronounced at any given time. So because it changes, and that's fine. Because, comprehension is about understanding what's being said, not in how it's being said. So
Back to Conan. Jared knows Conan. What should I read first?
What have you haven't read any yet?
I haven't read any yet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's in an order,
Yeah,
which I
well,
assume is
just-
kind of a
just-
sensible order.
Yeah,
but
just read them in order.
Okay.
They're all really, really great. You're gonna like some better than others, but I couldn't tell you which order they would make sense. And they're all individual. They stand alone on their own. So
yeah,
I
I think
have some personal favorites, but that
Right.
can switch per person. So
Yeah, I think this is. I think they've put it in an order which is
it
sort of chronological in his life.
because some were published like later than when he wrote them, and so
Yeah, I don't-
publication order is different than when
Yeah.
chronological.
No,
order.
I think I'm not sure. I need to read the introduction. I haven't started anything yet, but I think they've put it in an order which is sort of like Conan young to Conan our age.
Oh, okay.
It would
All
make
right.
sense.
I think.
I just read the Hour of the Dragon, which is also
Yeah.
called Conan the Conqueror, which is the only novel-length story that Howard wrote. And actually, I'll be talking about it on the 17th with the Quilluminati. But it was I had read a couple of the short stories when I was very young, and I don't remember much. But it was interesting, actually. 'Cause one of the things that I found was kind of cool, contrary to what people might think, because I think a lot of people, when they think of Conan, they think of Arnold Schwarzenegger. They think
Yeah.
they don't really know much about. It's kind of like Frankenstein.
That's
Everybody
definitely not
thinks
book
what
Conan.
Frankenstein is, and then they read
Yeah.
the actual book Frankenstein. It's like, oh, that's totally different.
That's a good comparison, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So you read Conan the book, and it's like, wait, okay, so this guy's actually, contrary to what you might think, there are several moments in the story where he's completely dependent on women to save his skin.
Right.
Which I think is interesting given Howard's personal life. If you know anything about Howard, he was very close to his mother. Took his own life after she died. There was a
Alcoholic as well. I think.
Yeah. But that is interesting when you read the female characters in the story and how dependent Conan actually is on them at certain points. And yeah, so anyway, there's more to it than people might think, is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, a lot more. Yeah. It's very. It's a lot deeper than people think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movies.
It's
the
not
movies
the Schwarzenegger movies.
Yeah, the movies didn't do Howard's writing justice.
Yeah.
But they did bring awareness to people about the stories. But
the movies are. I love the movies. I recently rewatched Conan the Barbarian, and the special effects on that snake are worth watching the movie for. just the special effects on the snake. It's hilarious. Yeah. Wow. Okay, Thornall, that's interesting. He took his own life 5 minutes before his mother died. Bet that's an interesting story. Sad, surely, but interesting. I'm interested to read. Like, there is so much around Conan and kind of connected to, inspired by, reaction to, etc. Conan, that I'm really. Ida, what rock have you been living under? What the fuck?
I mean, the movies are pretty old.
They're old.
Yeah, but there was more than one of them, and they are like famous. Like,
it's just the iconic. It's the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Famous if you're over 50.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I guess Ida is not over 50 as far as I know. But yeah, like, there's the movies, and there's Casa Orlong, which if you have read or ever read Malazan, Erickson has also said was kind of a reaction to Conan, a Conan different direction kind of thing. I mean, it goes in a totally different direction, but that it sort of started as a.
I mean,
what
90% of fantasy has to be in that family tree, right? Conan, reaction to Conan, reaction to reaction to Conan, right? Because Conan gave us Elric, and then Elric gave us like The Witcher, and so much of modern fantasy is right copying or opposing, deconstructing those guys.
People showing that they love or hate Conan. Yeah.
Or just riffing on it.
Yeah.
Karsa's your least. I love Karsa. Oh my god.
Ida is Ida is almost a professional with hot takes at this point.
But Elric is such an anti-Conan. He's almost like a parody.
Elric is very consciously though an anti-Conan.
Yeah.
Like, he is intentionally anti-Conan. He's not coincidentally anti-Conan.
I Samwise is in his. I thought you were in your teens.
I thought he was just a baby as well.
I mean, certainly looks like teen, fresh-faced.
That's a good thing, Sam. It's a good thing.
Okay, I didn't really realize there was any Conan relationship to the.
Very true. He's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sam's right about that. Yep.
Yeah, I think if Casa is your favorite, I mean, the thing is, Casa is not Conan, and Casa is not in pretty much every way, except solving problems with a sword. He's just not even like Conan, except that he's a barbarian, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Born from.
Yeah, he's just not. He's a reaction to Conan, I think, in a lot of ways, for sure. But
he's not an
different.
adaptation of Conan. He's an inspiration.
Yeah. Conan, the mightiest warrior
among
ever.
many others.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorta. Yeah. Rathamon. Yeah. That's the other thing. I mean, like, that movie is worth watching just for James Earl Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, he's cool.
And his funky get up. Oh my goodness.
Good stuff.
He spoke at one of my graduations, by the way, James Earl Jones.
Really?
Yep. One of my master's degrees.
That is one of the coolest things you've said.
Yeah. Darth Vader himself.
Darth Vader spoke at your graduation. Man.
Yep.
I'm going to tell everybody that.
Or Mufasa.
And no wonder why AP calls you Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you are a Sith Lord, is what you're saying.
I taught Darth Vader everything he knows.
Right.
Now we know. Now we know.
So you had the high ground.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, no, I'm because of all the connections, because of all the inspiration and the reaction to and all of that, I find it really hard to imagine reading a Conan story and just reading it, you know?
Yeah.
Like without constantly thinking of something else or constantly getting little, how does this connect to Castle Orlong? How does this connect to Fafard? How does this, you know, all these other things. But yeah, I've actually heard, again, from my best friend who's a massive Conan fan, that they're pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, I imagine he's a fan, so it might be a bit like me telling people that Hobb's pretty good.
Kind of, yeah. It is very much like you telling people that Hobb is pretty good. It like you were saying it like maybe I'm not allowed to have friends who actually read the same stuff as me. If you make a really big box called fantasy,
Yeah.
what Jason and I read is in that box. But every time I talk to him about books I love, he's like,
Never heard of it.
no, he's heard of it. He's very well informed about the whole genre. But he's like, yeah, I tried Gardens of the Moon years ago and just way too wordy, and he just couldn't get into it. So
Honestly, these books just have so many words. But
yeah, he couldn't get into Robin Hobb either.
A while ago, BookTube in general is unlike a lot of big, what would you call them, clouds of people who talk about the same thing in YouTube. The YouTube bubbles of fantasy are small and quite separate. And so there's lots of Venn diagrams of bubbles only just touching on the edges to another bubble. And it's completely by luck if if YouTube, the overlords go, I'll
Put them
introduce you
together
to a different bubble.
Right.
And if you're lucky enough to find that one person in a different bubble, suddenly you find like 50 other booktubers who are amazing and who have got thousands of subs. Like, how have I never seen these people before? And it happened to me 6 or 7 months ago when I was introduced to David at Four Corners of the Page. Suddenly there's a whole bunch of new booktubers who have been around for ages. I've never heard of them. And they're all fabulous. Thomas, who is just the chillest bloke ever, who just had a live stream with Alan recently. Not one rant out of Alan. Not one. He was chill.
Alan. I think that's
That was an AI Alan. That wasn't Alan.
That wasn't real.
I was kind of impressed.
If he didn't rant,
Thomas
it wasn't
brought
Alan.
the Zen, and Alan was like, "Okay, this is chill." Very impressive. Zach,
So you're saying that Alan's rants are our fault.
Yeah, absolutely. We are bad dog parents. We are feeding the bad behavior.
Dog parents. So
Yes, we're
what you're
feeding the
saying
bad
is
behavior.
Alan's
We're
a
going,
dog.
Oh, isn't it cute? And so that's how you train people. I mean,
Just that we're clear, should Alan watch this, Derry just called Alan a dog.
he is beloved of all of BookTube.
I mean, dogs
And
are great.
we are responsible.
Everybody loves
for
dogs.
treating him well.
Okay.
And clearly we're reinforcing his bad behavior because Thomas wasn't having any of it.
Okay.
And
Wow.
there was zero rants. Shay, same group of booktubers. Shay just narrated a novella for Jenny Wirtz.
Yeah. The Galant.
Funniest
I
thing
was
was
so impressed. I was like, Shay, that is so awesome.
I find it hilarious when someone else tries to do an Alan style rant and they just come across as a complete asshole. And I'm like, and I've seen someone say, but Alan can say stuff like this. And I'm like, you, sir, are not Alan. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Alan can say stuff like this.
doing it that it's completely inoffensive and endearing, and I want to know what it is. Like, I can't quite capture what the quality is of his rant. It never comes across as a jerk. You never go, that guy's a dick. I wouldn't want to have him as a friend. You never think that for a second. Anyone else saying almost the same words, the same, and you're just like, man, that's a jerk, right? Like, why is anyone talking to that guy? And it's like very interesting. I want to
be bored with that. You have to be born with that, Joe.
I
Okay.
think part of it is
Yeah.
that Alan isn't just angry. He's angry because it hurts him. Whatever he's arguing about has hurt him. And so he's lashing out in anger because it's hurting him that this situation is awful or that situation is awful. And that somehow comes across that I actually care about what I'm arguing about.
Yeah.
And so it comes across as earnest rather than just angry.
You never think he's trolling or trying to get. He's not.
No.
It's never clickbait. It's never like, oh, if I say this, people will watch my video. Never for a second do you think that's whirling in the back of his mind. It's not. You know, it's
Lawful good.
It is. It's lawful good ranting.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever Alan goes off about something, you can tell that there is a wrong that he greatly
Injustice.
cares about.
Injustice.
Some sort of injustice. Yeah, exactly. And he is railing against that. He's not just yelling to be an asshole, you know.
No, he's not being a contrarian or in any way berating people.
Yeah.
Unless it's about them ignoring that injustice. Because, you know.
Or unless he's berating his students. Which
Well,
he
they
does
do
pretty
some
regularly.
Odd things, let's face it. He does give us some pretty compelling reasons for the things that he says about his students.
I was a high school teacher. I'll never look down on someone for berating students.
No. And I think their ignorance and stupidity is the injustice that he's ranting about in that case. But yeah. No, I think it's a totally different thing. Totally makes sense in a way.
It was well worth watching. They were talking. He and Thomas were talking about the new Witcher game. Not the new. Well, yeah, Witcher 3.
That's
and
pretty old.
I've never played The Witcher, but I watched the live stream because I like Alan and I like Thomas, and I was like, how are these energies going to mix? And it was just wonderful to just hang out with them, being enthused and chill Alan. It was lovely. It was, and I sort of noticed about halfway through, I thought, he hasn't had a rant. And I just, at that point, was aware and was like, okay, there's always at least one. No?
Nope.
No.
Okay. So he likes
I would have been
Witcher 3 that
ranting.
much.
I would have been ranting the whole time because I can't even make the player go straight.
I'm not even brave enough to try them.
I can't make him walk straight. I tried it once. I tried The Witcher once.
I remember you talking about that. One of your students made you try it or something.
Yeah. There's a video of it on my channel. Yeah.
I need to find that video. I've meant to in
It's
the
not
past. I would have a really good laugh at that. I played The Witcher 3 all the way through twice. And just loved the game. It was one of the better video games I've ever played.
Then it might be worth you going to look at that
thing.
on Alan's channel because it was a lovely conversation about that game.
Yeah, it's a great game. But yeah, as soon as I started, I didn't know anything about the novels and the stories, and I didn't know about Sapkowski at all. And I just heard the game was really good, and I grabbed the game. I mean, this is like 10 years ago.
There are no novels. It's 2 books of short stories, and it ends.
That's my attitude towards it as well. That's exactly my attitude.
Somewhere is breaking.
I liked the short stories a fair bit, and I tried one of the novels and couldn't make it. But I didn't know about any of them when I played the game. And I started the game, and I was like, oh, so this is like Elric, sort of.
Sort of.
Which it kind of is. Like, albino guy, magic, needs drugs to do his thing. It's very much like Polish Elric, basically. It's Elricski.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
Elrikovich. Melnibowski.
I put a female assassin uses a giant black soul-eating sword in my Grimdwarf book, and I named her Cyril, Cirle, and I'm waiting for someone to call me on it.
Someone will pick it. Someone will.
Someone will.
This is the sort of circle that will go. I see what you did there.
Right, exactly. And then I want to put on the Patreon one day a list of all the stupid little Easter eggs like that. Like this person's name is that other one with the syllables switched. Remember Land of the Lost?
Oh yeah.
So I had
Slackers.
That's I had
You're
this
talking to the
race-
right crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this race of lizard people. I called them the taxleys. For no reason, but just someone my age is gonna go like, wait a minute.
Well, it's almost a bit. It's like the meme about cursive, isn't it? Once you're past a certain age, things we know as standard, things we like. Oh yeah, we know what you mean. Suddenly, no one knows.
Yeah.
Instead of Easter eggs for people who are into a certain thing, it's Easter eggs for a certain demographic.
Yeah.
As long as you're around this age, you may get this.
You're gonna get it.
And American. Like, if you grew up in America around these years, you'll probably get these jokes.
But it's not just that. It's like if you have a broad enough like geekdom, right? You'll find that no one will get them all. Like I had this one guy saying, I get all your references, and I'm like, really? How about the 17 Doctor Who things in these 5 books? Like, oh, I never watched Doctor Who, and I'm like, then you didn't
get those references.
You didn't know you didn't get them, which is fine. It's never important to the story. It's just like a little like
that exact thing is why I love rereading Discworld, because the more I learn, the more I find in Discworld books.
There's another reference that unlocks. Yeah.
Things I never knew I was missing suddenly become hilarious because I've learned something in the interim. Brilliant. It's so much fun. And it feels like a little pat on the back from the universe going, good on you for taking in new things.
You can watch Land of the Lost on YouTube for like free. Like it's just on there. I don't know if it's supposed to be, but
No one
I
would actually
rewatched
pay to watch it.
I was going to say, I don't know if you should watch it, but
it's not as bad as you think it might be. Like they had real science fiction where like David Gerald, who did like Star Trek and like wrote some really good novels. He was one of the writers on Land of the Lost. They had real sci-fi names. It was a different era, I think. I think they still do that to some extent, maybe less, but it was not. I wouldn't say it was good, but it was interesting.
they do that a lot at the moment in crime shows. They have a lot of actual crime authors like Michael Connelly and Dennis Lehane and whatever. They are doing shows, but the sci-fi stuff really needs it. I was talking to people on the Fireside Discord the other day about Star Trek, and I've loved Star Trek since I was a kid. I watched the original Star Trek when I was a kid. I watched Next Generation. I watched all that stuff. But Discovery was such a train wreck. It was so bad. It was awful.
It really was. And I remember having such hopes for it.
And then Picard.
And
then they did Picard. And I was like, how can it be just as awful, but in completely different ways? Like, you found totally new ways to make an awful Star Trek show. Oh my God.
Maybe that was the goal.
Maybe.
It's an interesting take.
The whole conversation started because Ida was telling us on the Discord that Strange New Worlds is awesome. And I would find that out for myself. Did it not cost extra money in Germany? It's
I'm the
not
same. I can't
just
get Strange
on
New
the
Worlds
stream.
without,
Well, I can get it, but I have to like subscribe to Paramount or something, and it's not on Amazon
it's not
Prime
on a streamer
normally.
that I use.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's one of their sort of flagship pull people into the new streamer shows. Yeah. It's like if you're a Star Trek fan, you have to get Paramount. And I'm not that big a Star Trek fan, especially after Discovery and Picard. Oh my God.
We can call ourselves purists, is what that is, Matt.
Exactly. I'm a real Star Trek fan. I'm not going to give money to people who make horrible. No, I would love to watch it, but yeah. Yeah. All your hopes, Derry, will be answered in Strange New Worlds. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One day I shall get that streaming and I will watch it.
This was really important in Picard, as they spent quite a long time explaining the Picard family vineyard, which is something I've always wondered about.
Oh, I was actually about to say, did we need to know more about the vineyard than we already knew?
The worst thing, and this is not really anybody's fault, but the worst thing about Picard was Patrick Stewart is like 105 years old now.
Yep.
And in that show, in every scene, he looked it.
Oh.
Like every time he was on screen, I was just like, let the man retire. He's obviously too tired to do this. He still had some of that charisma and that presence that he always had, but he just looked like a really old man who just wanted to have a nap.
Which is awful because he's quite active on social media along with Ian McCallum. They're great mates.
Matt,
and he doesn't look like that in real life.
You realize, Matt, that some kid is watching us right now and saying the same thing about us.
Exactly. He's pointing at me and saying, "You're talking about yourself." Shut up, old man.
We're gonna get like Britain on there. Like, what do you mean?
It's Britain.
Yeah. Jerome, you do need to watch Andor season 2. You absolutely do.
It's really good.
For anyone, I know a lot of people who watched some of the Disney Star Wars stuff, like Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett almost threw me out of Star Wars for the rest of my life. It was so garbage, unbelievable. But watch Andor. Forget all of that. Watch Andor. Andor is fucking awesome.
But don't
the
watch
last time
Andor
I had a Disney subscription.
No, don't watch Andor because it's Star Wars. It's just a really good story.
It's not good Star Wars, right? There's not enough guys with laser swords. There's no
lightsabers. There's no Skywalkers.
It is a phenomenal piece of work that is not Star Wars, but don't forget it's about Star Wars. Forget it's about another evil empire and watch it because it's phenomenal.
It's basically a show about fascism.
Into The Mandalorian. I was like, I'm not paying for this.
No.
I really enjoyed The Mandalorian for the bubblegum that it was. I thought it was good bubblegum, right?
It was pushed heavy here because Timuera Morrison is one of our world famous in New Zealand people.
Right.
So it was pushed massively here that, it's our boy done good, He's got his own show. And I gave it. But it means I haven't seen Andor, but I have heard so many amazing things about it.
Andor is
loved Rogue One. I loved it.
Andor is good science fiction.
Yeah.
And it's a great story about fighting fascism.
Yeah.
And forget about Star Wars. It is nominally in the Star Wars universe, but it's not the Star Wars thing. There's zero lightsabers. There are zero Jedi. There are zero Skywalkers. Like, it doesn't have to do with the typical Star Wars things.
You could.
And it made Rogue One even better. After I rewatched Rogue One,
it made Rogue One look bad.
Okay,
but it made the movie. I thought, because the first time I watched it, I thought I missed some, and then a lot more made sense
when season 2 of Andor finished. I went back and watched all of Andor and immediately watched Rogue One afterwards, and I thought Rogue One wasn't very good, was it?
Okay,
it just wasn't very good.
I loved Rogue One. I was like, this is a Star Wars movie.
I like Rogue One.
In terms of what
I thought it was good.
Consider Star Wars. This fighting the oppressor is for me what Star Wars is, because old, and that's what it used to be. It wasn't necessarily a Skywalker lightsaber thing. That was an offshoot of what I thought was the core of the story, which was this resistance against oppression. So Rogue One was like, I love this film so much. So I do really want to watch Andor.
After all of what you just said, you have to watch Andor, and you can subscribe to Disney Plus for 1 month and watch the whole thing.
Actually, that's true. I could do.
And then you cancel. This is what Josh, Red Fury Books. Josh does this. Josh only ever has one streamer at a time, and he'll shop around and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, Netflix has 2 or 3 shows I want to watch. I'll subscribe for a month or 2." And then he cancels that, and he finds other shows he wants to watch somewhere else, and subscribes to them for a month or 2.
I may steal that approach too.
Yeah, got to make a spreadsheet to follow it all.
I'm a fan of spreadsheets, Jared. That's fine.
Okay.
Josh is huge.
My wife to watch the same shows I want to watch on the same streaming channel at the same time, and that's never going to happen.
Yeah, no.
I'm also so very much like the way I read. I'm so much a mood binger. Yeah. I just have all of the streaming things, and
you never know.
Flip between them every night or 2 or whatever.
I could cancel everything while I'm drafting, and then watch everything while I'm not drafting. If I was just
true,
Because I'm like, I never watch, like, I don't watch Netflix. And when I'm in drafting mode, I'm just writing, for like 2 months, and then it's like very intense. So I don't really need any of these, but my wife does. So I'm not actually canceling anything.
This comment from Thornall reminds me of something I wanted to do. We have, for anyone who doesn't know, started a book club on the Fireside Discord. And the Fireside Discord book club, the idea is the four of us who run the server. That's me, Josh, Joanna, and Evie. It's the three of us running it, and Evie's our mod. And she's like everybody's mod.
Wonderful.
We each nominate a book. We put it up to a poll, and we don't tell you who nominated what. And we let everybody in the community vote, and then we do one book a quarter, so it's very spacious. And then we have a live stream chat about the book, the four of us together, and we invite everybody on the Discord to read along with us and discuss and be part of the live stream when it happens. And the poll for the fourth quarter, starting in October, ended today. And I'll tell you who nominated what book and how the books did.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, the lowest, with 13% of the vote, was The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane, which was nominated by Josh. Next, with 15% of the vote, was In a Lonely Place by Karl Edward Wagner, nominated by Evie. Second, I'm going backwards. So yeah, second was Creatures of Light and Darkness by Roger Zelazny, nominated by me. And again,
Joanna again.
Fucking Joanna.
Finger on the pulse of the multitudes.
Won.
I think so.
With 4 more votes than Creatures of Light and Darkness, with 41% of the vote, The Lathe of Heaven by Ursula K. Le Guin.
Yeah.
So that will be what we're reading in October.
Pretty solid choice.
I voted for yours, Matt. Just so you know.
Thank you. I appreciate the loyalty, Jared. Yeah. No, I'm really curious to read Creatures of Light and Darkness after reading
Lord of Light.
Lord of Light.
Yeah.
My brain just went blank. Thank you for being my backup brain. Yeah, I loved Lord of Light, which is largely about Hindu mythology, and Creatures of Light and Darkness is largely about Egyptian mythology. Mm-hmm. So that's why I nominated it. And Zelazny is awesome, just in general. I love his work.
Good stuff.
But I've heard, like Ron says, that The Lathe of Heaven is great.
Yeah, cool.
And I like not all of, but some Le Guin that I've read, I really enjoyed. So I'm looking forward to Lathe of Heaven. Yeah. She wasn't a classic, extremely well-known celebrity of sci-fi for no reason.
That's right.
Sci-fi and fantasy.
Mm.
Yeah.
You don't become Le Guin without some stuff backing that up.
And from now on, I'm also going to call her The Guin.
The Guin.
Yeah. Ursula K. The Guin.
The Gwyn.
Yes.
One and only Gwyn. Got to congratulate Brian for finishing Reaper's Gale. Congratulations, Brian.
Fantastic book.
Next book, all new characters, new continent, Brian. You're going to love it.
Brian,
Yeah.
well done.
It's almost every book. You're describing almost every book of Malazan. Oh, new continent? Okay. Oh, no characters I know? Okay, also good.
Was it 1,000 years before the other books? Whatever.
Yeah.
That's right. That's proof of the author, though, isn't it? That Malazan has created this quite intense group. I say this from the outside. This quite intense group of readers who love it. That can only be born out of trust in the author. If this is what the author's doing, if you're getting a completely new story every time, it's born out of trust that, well, I got a good story last time. So
I'm very proud of myself. Like
so relevant.
Yesterday, I'm a moderator on a gaming Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different world. Oh my God. Like the Fireside is awesome in comparison. I have to ban 14-year-olds from the gaming Discord like once a week at least. Just assholes come on the Discord and want to start causing trouble. And we're like, you don't understand how the power dynamic here works. Moderator, not moderator. Power, no power. If we give you 3 warnings, you're off. Anyway, so I'm a moderator on that Discord, and I've gotten to know a guy named Mike, who's a really nice guy in Australia, who's also a moderator. And we've never talked about books. And yesterday he wrote me out of the blue and he was like, dude, I've read, I didn't even know he read fantasy. He was like, I've read The Wheel of Time. I've read Lord of the Rings like a bazillion times. And I'm lacking something to read right now. And instead of reading Lord of the Rings for the bazillionth time, I thought I'd ask you because you told me you have a YouTube channel all about fantasy and science fiction and stuff. What should I read? And I was like, well, what are you looking for? And he was like,
that's the thing, isn't it, with fantasy? What is it you like about it?
I'm looking for something that will keep me busy for years. I was like, fuck yeah.
I have just
Malazan Book of the Fallen. Gardens of the Moon. Buy it today. Start tomorrow.
Yes.
And he went and looked it up. He went and looked it up and he was like, there are 27 books and counting. I was like, yes. He's like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wow.
excellent.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
We'll see if he likes it. I mean, if you count all of Erickson and all of
Erikson
Esselmont's
as well, and
outside, not only the Malazan Book of the Fallen, but like the novels of the Malazan Empire and all of the other sort of related series. They're all in Malazan and connected. There are, I think, 27.
And amazingly all awesome.
I wouldn't 100% agree.
that's what I've heard conflicting.
Wouldn't
things
100%
about.
agree. I mean, I've dipped into Esselmont a little. I liked Knight of Knives. I was lost and kind of bored for a lot of the Return of the Crimson Guard.
That took you a long time to get through.
Yes, it was a real, and I wasn't even in a slump. I just was avoiding reading it.
That was for me the weakest of Esselmont's books.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
And they get better throughout novels of the Malazan Empire. I mean, they're the rest of them I think are really great, and so is the other series he's done, Path to Ascendancy.
Yeah,
so
it broke my heart because those are the characters I was primed to love most. The Crimson Guard kind of character that I love, like these like unkillable mercenaries, you know, the OP. I love this stuff, you know, just in general. These are the tropes I eat up, and I was like, fine. That was my experience. Like it was good. It was I wouldn't say it was bad, but I was like, it didn't quite. And then I felt like I read a sale, and it wasn't as epic as it needed to be, given how much a sale had been set up by the 10 books.
right.
I felt like a sale needed to be more somehow mythic, more. And it was a place, and it was dangerous, but it wasn't what it had. It didn't live up to what. Like if I hadn't read the 10 books and I read a sale, I felt I would have liked it a lot more. So I wouldn't have had those expectations. But I had the expectations, so it didn't quite get. But I liked it. Don't get me. I'm not. I'm not saying I didn't. But
it is a bit of a curse to be constantly compared to Steven Erikson.
Yeah.
That's. I wouldn't want to.
But I did think they all got even better when I reread them, because you pick up a lot more, and as you start to see Esselman's own input into it, and his own subtleties that come out on a reread. Just like when you reread Erikson, you catch a lot more stuff too.
It was a weird place to read Return of the Crimson Guard for me because I'm rereading Malazan, like the Book of the Fallen, and I got up to Reaper's Gale. I'm trying to put them sort of in the chronological order where they kind of belong, and I read Return of the Crimson Guard, and of course, a reread of Reaper's Gale is going to be really different than a first read of Return of the Crimson Guard.
Yeah.
And Reaper's Gale, it's like, first of all, I already knew what was kind of going to happen. And I was getting into the deeper things that I could get into because I was rereading it. And then Return of the Crimson Guard is just as deep and complex, and there's crazy stuff going on all over the place. And I was like, I feel kind of lost. And I don't feel like the characters are quite as fleshed out. And I don't feel them, I don't know, in the way that I do in Erickson's writing and all of that. But I'm really, I mean, there's certainly some things that the future Esselmont books hit on and deal with that I'm really looking forward to. So we'll see. I have not closed my mind to Esselmont's Malazan writing. I'm continuing.
You got the weakest of it already, and the rest of it,
yeah,
you'll enjoy the rest of it.
I've heard that from everybody. Everybody seems to agree. Return of the Crimson Guard weakest, and then it's kind of uphill from there.
Yeah,
you know. So
this sounds very much like people who are struggling with Assassin's Quest to me. I'm like, it's going to be better on reread. Just go with it.
Which honestly isn't that motivating. I try not to mention rereading when I'm talking to Malazan beginners.
Yeah.
No, because Malazan's a bit scary.
Because it sounds really.
Here's 8,000 pages, but wait till the third time you read them.
Yeah,
you'll really love it. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. It's hard for me. Not having read Malazan, I get the whole. It's amazing. It's all this, and I really want to read it, watch it, because my brain will watch it, and I do really, really want to read it. I'm just daunted by it, and knowing my own struggles with reading new worlds to myself, and understanding, as far as any person who hasn't read them can understand, the scope of the story. It's daunting. It's really scary to me. I'm like, okay, that's going to be hard. But it's hard in the way that I want to get to the point where I'm ready to take it on. I'm not quite there yet, but I really want to. But
read a couple of chapters of Gardens of the Moon.
I've got it. It's on my like I'm slowly buying them. I've got 4 of the 10. I think already.
Just read the first 3 chapters of Gardens of the Moon. I think you will get very quickly a feeling whether you're ready to deal with it or not.
Well, this is the thing: is that coming into Malazan, when among these people, among our people, I understand what readers who are approaching Hob feel like, because they're like, oh my God, this massive series and it's huge and and then they get only maybe 1.5 books in and they're like, I don't know, this is hard, and does it get better? Should I put this down?
Best advice: make sure you've got palate cleansers ready on your shelf to read in between.
Oh yeah,
something completely
so important.
Something shorter with humor, maybe in space. Maybe people
maybe men punching spaceships.
There's like a superhero guy.
Kaiju.
Gotta do the
nice.
talking about how you have to spend 90% of your time marketing your books. That was my
nice sales pitch, Joe. But you know that Derry is going to read Gardens of the Moon, then she's going to reread Dungeon Crawler Carl, then she's going to read. It's going to be a DCC book in between every Malazan book.
And then she's going to read.
I had a dilemma last night because I'm like, okay, if I'm reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, do I swap to my normal nighttime listening of a Discworld book, or do I just stay listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl before I go to sleep?
The funny thing is about these big series that intimidate people like this, like Realm of the Elderlings, or Wars of Light and Shadow by Jenny Wirtz, these big series, you don't read the whole thing at once. It's kind of like how I tell my students to write a research paper. You're writing it one sentence at a time. You're not actually doing the whole thing at once. So,
that's something I learned after finding BookTube, because I did used to do that and just read one series from the beginning to the end before I read anything else. It was literally only after finding BookTube that I started interspersing them. And I was like, this is a game changer.
But even if you're reading one whole series at a time, you're still only reading one book at a time.
Yeah, one book at a time.
No matter what else you're reading, like you're reading one book. Like people say that to me all the time. They're like, "Oh my God, Malazan Book of the Fallen's 10 books." I'm like, "How many books have you read in your life?" Like, I don't know. I'm like, more than 100? They're like, "Oh yeah, lots more than 100." I'm like, "Well, then you've read lots more than 10 books at a time in a series. Read 10 books."
Yeah, just any 10 books.
In a certain amount of time, you are going to read 10 books. It could be these 10. and they're better than most things you've read.
A
So
year
why
from now,
not?
you're going to be a year older regardless. You could be a year older and had read 10 to 10 books of Malazan. Either way, you're going to be...
Yeah, exactly. Like you're going to keep reading books. So just choose that the next 10 books you read are these 10. That like,
It's actually
why
a
is that a
question
big
I
deal?
always have on the back burner for people. Is that what books do you want to have read that you're not necessarily looking forward to reading, but you want to get to a point when you've read it? And there's a lot of those for me. But I am looking forward to reading Malazan. So
I would love to have had read what's Sanderson's big series? The
Stormlight Archive?
Yes, I would love to have had read the Stormlight Archives without having to actually read all
right.
12,000 pages of Stormlight Archives or whatever.
Having read 3 of them, I can recommend pretending you have read them and not reading them. Actually, there are a lot of good things to say about them. I'm just not the person to say them.
But, well, particularly about the first 2, I think. But
yeah. The third one was where I got to the point where I was like, dude, like you need a really big knife and you need to cut a lot of fat.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this book is chunkier than it needs to be. Could be half as long.
Yeah, I have not been able to get past the 3rd book yet because I'm terrified that I'm just going to not enjoy the 4th book because apparently it's much more of that than the 3rd book even.
Yep, so, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very fluffy. Very fluffy. Like if you continue, or if I continually find myself while reading a book thinking the bit I'm reading right now is fluff that does not need to be there, and I am getting impatient to get to the stuff that does need to be there, and it happens over and over and over again.
But the thing is, if you're somebody who does enjoy really intricate magic systems, hard magic, which is what Sanderson calls it,
magic
and
as
really
science,
getting into the intricacies of that and finding out how it works along with the characters, you actually would probably dig it. You know, I think that's kind of
a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Thing, isn't it?
So, yeah.
I know that would bother the hell out of me, which is why I've never even started Sanderson. I'm like, no, that would just offend me on some level because magic should be magic. Which is why I like Grimm's way of doing magic. I like that. I'm like, no, that's how magic should be. Inexplicable. Because it's magic.
Yeah.
And so I've always known that Brando's way isn't my way.
One person's fluff is another person's, gold, I guess. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it must mean that for when you're doing the Spiffbo stuff, Philip, that the what's the word I want to use? The pressure on an indie author to kind of bang for your buck. This has to impress somebody.
Yeah.
Must be really refreshing after having read some of the stuff. You're like, oh God, please cut half of this away. Because they're often quite short, the Spiffbo, in terms of fantasy, Spiffbo books.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking that?
Actually, I mean, it's a bit difficult to say for sure because there are definitely some huge chunkers that I've read for Spiffbo, some big ones. But then, of course, yeah, you're right. There are others that are shorter and are definitely trying to give a quicker, a faster paced read. So you'll find the full range, really. It may be that on average they are a little bit more punchy, a little faster paced than traditional pub. But I don't think it's a big difference. You'll find the full range, really, in self-pub of people writing, 1,000-page, sprawling, lots of description, lots of magic, and here's how it works or whatever. And then you'll find people who are giving you a couple 100-page, just fun read. So, yeah.
I think the winner of this most recent one, I think it was a longer book, like not crazy, not 1,000 pages, but it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't like mine are 400 pages. Mine are 120,000 words. That's my rule. But it was. I think it was longer than that.
They
vary.
I'll tell you how long.
While you're looking, Dan, what the fuck? Are you rereading Malazan? I could swear you got well past House of Chains a long time ago. You must be rereading.
Okay, I was wrong. Peter says By Blood, by Salt was shorter. So my mistake.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I thought-
370 pages, Peter says.
Okay, thank you, Peter. I'm still looking for my copy.
All right.
And I think by most of our standards, that is a
That's pretty short.
But other
Yeah.
winners have been longer, right? I know Sort of Kaigen wasn't a short book.
No, that's
Yeah,
huge.
that's 600.
Nice to
600
do that.
pages.
It's massive.
That was a winner, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but the year before Spiffbo 9, it was Murder at Spittle Manor. Is like a couple hundred pages. It's,
Oh,
it's,
wow.
it's a quick read.
Okay.
Nice Halloween read if you're looking for a Halloween read. Yeah,
Are you also marketing for Spiffo now?
I'm doing my Spiffbo thing now. Yeah,
Mhm.
Don't you have a different jacket for that?
I do, but,
The
it's
Spitbo
upstairs.
tweed.
It's upstairs.
It's a very specific Spiffo tweed. Yeah. Just like the tartans on kilts indicate your clan. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, they created one for Outlander.
Oh, they invented a
They-
tartan.
They officially
Just for the
created
family?
a tartan.
Oh,
for
wow.
Outlander.
Okay. That's cool. That's kind of cool.
Huh.
I like stuff like that. Hi, Britain. Britain
Yeah.
turned up at some
We were
point.
talking about you earlier, Britton.
Yeah,
Only horrible things.
Yeah.
wonderful young man.
Because you could never look old on camera like Picard.
Yeah. Or that you would think we all look old on camera. Like,
That was the inspiration.
it wasn't. I swear it wasn't my plan. I honestly invited a variety of ages.
This is true. Also, I'm actually quite proud of my skin. For an old lady, I got pretty good skin. And I say this
Better.
because my younger sisters, both of them, often nowadays get asked, is she really your older sister?
Mm.
Because I didn't sun worship. I stayed inside and watched the cricket and read books. So I still have good skin.
That was a very nice old lady evil laugh there, Derry.
See, I'm turning into Nanny Og, I promise. It's frightening, but also kind of awesome. To the point where I'm considering I'm going to learn how to turn my Doc Martens red because I need some boots. But I read because
I would have bought a Worldcon kilt if that had been available at the store. That sounds fantastic.
I would think. I mean, what did they create a tartan for if they weren't selling?
Well, this is
Ah.
Glasgow. I wasn't at Glasgow. I was at Seattle Worldcon.
Okay, I think the Glasgow Worldcon has a tartan means the Glasgow Worldcon.
yeah.
But
It'll
maybe
be
you could order one.
You know, why even Joe?
I was going to say I think this is really sweet,
Oh.
and I think this is even sweeter. Even Joe.
Even-
Everybody looks great. Even Joe. Not as great as everyone else, but yeah, even.
I knew I shouldn't have gotten out of bed this morning.
I'm glad I did.
Just fuel for your writing there, Joe. Fuel for your writing.
Okay, we have to remember all about inner law.
There's an older white guy in my books, and I'm gonna have to have like a harem form around him in sometime soon. Just to, like pop him up. Like all these women are like, yeah, Rohan, you're interesting, but is Ben free? Because he seems really interesting. You know, he's just so attractive. My little stand.
Absolutely.
Have you seen the new Superman? Speaking of harems,
I have not, but I've
I have
heard good things.
there's a it's not really a spoiler to talk about it. There's a twisty bit in the story where people sort of turn against him. Because one of the things he's accused of is having a secret harem of Earth girls.
Oh.
And social media goes nuts with hashtag secret harem. It's great.
Well,
It's
I mean,
really
let's
good.
be honest, there aren't
like
very
if
many women out there who wouldn't want to be associated with Superman. I mean,
sure.
Superman.
If you like superhero movies, I will say that the Superman movie is pretty awesome. Like I think I've said it numerous times here, but a lot of the Marvel movies have a certain kind of snide cynicism to them.
Yeah.
You know, they're a little bit snarky in their humor, and it's always a bit, snide. This is wholesome, straight positivity. It's really enjoyable to just have something that is allowed to just be positive.
Nice.
And no mean humor, and
I like it.
it doesn't have to be smarter than anyone or anything. It's just a fun movie.
It seems like the grimmer the news of the world gets, the more we yearn for the wholesome in our media.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that lately, like shows like Ted Lasso, and what was the other show I was thinking of recently? It was also like that. Just fundamentally extremely positive shows that are genuinely positive. They're not acting positive to prove a point or something. It's just like, this is really actually wholesome and positive and uplifting content. It's awesome. What, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? And all this time we were friends. You
Learning you made a mistake. Well, yeah.
I did.
Clearly kept this very dark secret from you, Matt.
I could have sworn that Dan had finished Malazan. I have to reevaluate my whole picture of him now.
Wow.
Oh man.
I mean, for the devils, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's had some mixed feeling.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any. I read the original trilogy by Abercrombie a long time ago when it came out, and I haven't read any Abercrombie since.
I keep meaning to head into the standalones because I have heard really good things about them, but I've only read the first 3.
But what I just said was not in any way a criticism. I really liked the first.
I loved some of the things he did in that trilogy. I really did.
Yeah. I'd like to read the rest, but somehow I wasn't paying attention, and all of a sudden there were like 12 books. Yeah.
Right.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
Close
when
my eyes
he
for 5
ended
minutes.
Best Served Cold, I literally cheered. I was like, that's the best ending to a book ever. I loved it so much.
I agree with Peter. Speaking of superhero
really?
movies, Fantastic Four was actually quite good, I thought. But it was a lot of style and not that much substance, was my feeling. It had a lot of really good style stuff. Like they have this whole alternate world, 60s, early 60s, late
Retro.
50s vibe going on.
Retro aesthetic. Yeah.
Totally. And they nailed that. It was so beautifully production designed. But they're just
Fantastic Four has to have the character magic between those 4. If you haven't got that, it's just not going to fly.
And that wasn't. I mean, the easy compliment is it was the best Fantastic Four movie yet.
A low bar.
It's a really low bar.
Yeah, that's a statement.
Yeah, it was an extremely low bar. Like any Green Lantern movie they make would be the best Green Lantern movie.
It will be good in comparison.
I'm hoping they do. Green Lantern was my favorite soup as a kid.
Funny.
But
yeah, Fantastic Four is a tricky one because it's a bit like any what's the word I'm looking for? Ensemble. It always is going to come down to the chemistry between those actors because that's the magic. Because it's not 4 superheroes who all come together for a film. This is a combined group of people who, as a unit, are the story. And so that unit has to really, really click for it to.
And I really, really like Pedro Pascal as an actor. But I really, really hate a Reed Richards who is terrified all the time. And in the movie, Reed Richards was terrified all the time.
Reed's a tough character, though, because I think from a modern context, it's hard for him to not be seen as a villain.
Yeah.
Well, that's the cool thing about Reed Richards. He is a villain.
But that wasn't how they intended him in the early stories. They intended him to be seen as a heroic, groundbreaking figure. I think now we see super rich tech bro ignores all regulations and safety protocols to go and do this very risky experiment and put the planet and his friends and girlfriend, wife, whatever, at risk I don't think we can look at that with like our hearts thumping with pride the way we could have in 1964.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know how you have to change that somehow. You've got to pick a lane and make it different. If you want, or make him the villain. Make him the villain might have been a way to go, but they're not. They weren't going to go all in on Reed Richards' actual
makes it
bad guy.
Harder to tell that story.
That could have, but I mean, that could have been an interesting way to do. They would have had to really do it, and they didn't. So,
Oh yeah, you've got to commit if you're going to do that.
It's really tough to not have him look like Elon Musk, I think, or if Elon Musk were smart, and no one wants that movie, you know.
He's basically Elon Musk if Elon Musk was a nice guy and did much more dangerous things.
It was actually intelligent.
And was actually really smart.
The thing about Reed Richards is, I think his most interesting thing about him is when they do him as really smart. I really like those stories.
Yeah. I mean, he is technically in the Marvel universe. He is the smartest man on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is it him or Tony Stark? Did they decide that? I can't remember.
I don't know if they ever decide, but he's like one of the top 5.
Yeah,
for sure.
you know.
But he's in that echelon of
But he's got comic book intelligence, which is where you can master every science.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's that whole superpower that's not really a superpower where you know everything. And I'm like, I know smart people and it doesn't work like that, sadly.
because you have to know everything for that to be a superpower, and even the smartest people on the planet haven't managed that.
I always thought it was kind of hilarious that like Reed Richards. I never thought of Reed Richards as a physical superhero, even though like he is stretchy.
Yeah.
But that always seemed like the most useless, who gives a shit kind of superpower to me.
Storm gives a shit.
Then you need to watch Incredibles because being stretchy is awesome.
Sure.
His wife's a very happy woman, I'm sure.
Or One Piece. Yeah.
I'm sure it's
yeah, there you go.
I'm sure it's very fun, but it's like I don't know, dude. Like stretchy, really? Okay, whatever. So you're bubblegum, cool.
But speaking of Fantastic Four, I'm gonna have to leave now, so I'll let the audience figure out which one of you is which member of.
But you are Reed Richards.
No. Clearly, I think you
do without
Reed Richards, Matt.
I can't be Reed Richards because I'm not at all stretchy. I can't even scratch my own back, and I'm dumb.
Oh, well, I don't think so. But we'll let the audience figure that out. But it was lovely being here for Sunday Pub. Thank you for inviting me, Matt. I hope.
Thanks for coming, Philip. Good to see you, man.
Lovely to see
Good to see you, Philip.
Have fun. Have fun stealing, everybody.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, but Reed Richards' real thing is he's smart. That's really his superpower. Like,
but honestly, have you seen The Incredibles? Elastigirl is amazing.
Yeah.
Like for a superpower, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Plastic Man is one of the most powerful entities in the DC universe, I think, the way they usually talk about him, right? Because he can transform into stuff. So they every once in a while they pull out a story. I don't really read DC, but I've heard that they'll pull a story where he's like an alternate story where he'll like go up and be like, "You guys are, I'm serious now. You guys are all going to leave and leave me alone." They're like, "Oh, okay," because they realize he's limitless potential, and if he ever is serious about stuff, which I like that. I like that trope. But
he's not just stretchy though.
He can actually he's not just stretchy.
Yeah, I mean Reed Richards is just stretchy.
Yeah, he's like indestructible or something like that.
Yeah,
but he can transform into stuff like things.
Yeah, technically, like Metamorpho, dumbest name in comic book history.
Yeah,
he's in the Superman movie.
That might not be.
No, it probably isn't actually.
There's some competition there.
That's true. That's true. But it's a pretty bad name.
It's a pretty bad name. Yes.
Yeah. He should technically be one of the most powerful superheroes in Marvel. Like, because he can turn his body into literally anything, any element, anything. Like turn into a sun, turn into.
Yeah, that's not going to help me.
Poison elements turn into radioactive shit. I mean,
but how does that help me?
It's not going to help you get your groceries done, but as a superhero, it's pretty powerful.
Planetary, the Four, they were great. They were a good part of the Planetary. I have to reread Planetary. I have the big omnibus.
I've never read Planetary.
Really like it.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
What's planetary?
It's like I don't know how to explain it. It was like a limited series, kind of like this group of like, it's in a superhero world. I think it's the same world as like the other as like the Authority before it rejoined DC.
Right.
That's
Okay.
am I right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and it was basically like one of your some of the superheroes were kind of like the superheroes. They reimagined them as villains in the world, and they had this group of from Planetary was trying to stop them all and stuff like that secretly under under it all. So it was pretty cool. It was like Warren Ellis, right?
Yeah, but it had a secret history vibe to it.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
Like these are the things that have happened that were done by superpowered entities. Like they go to this place and there's this like old like research center, and it's in like basically the carcass of Godzilla and stuff, and it just brought in all this stuff, and it was more of a vibe than a really great story exactly, but the vibe was really good. I don't know, I'm not explaining it well, but it was
Evie, hello.
gotta read it.
Hey, Evie.
Evie, I need you to moderate my Discord. I'm going to start a Chapter Helix, and I heard you have free time, and I expect it to get contentious. So I'm
It's
asking
superpowered and mod.
to be
These things-
Evie is the BookTube mod.
yeah. Author tube,
I know.
I'm close enough. I'm BookTube adjacent.
This was one of the things that I thought was hilarious. I mean, never really have been that super into DC comics as a universe. I read Green Lantern back in the day, a long time ago, but not much else. And Mr. Terrific was in the Superman movie, and I was there with my friend I mentioned, Jason, who is much more into comics than I am. And I actually turned to him in the theater. I was like, "Is he in the comics?"
Yeah,
I'd never heard of him.
I haven't.
It was really weird. There's a group of superheroes in the movie, and it's Mr. Terrific, who I'd never heard of, Hawk Girl, who I had heard of, but is like a B-list kind of hero, and Guy Gardner, who is like a C-list Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Played by Nathan Fillion, though. Extremely well. He was a perfect Guy Gardner, because Guy Gardner is an asshole with a bad haircut. And
he would have cheesed that up massively.
in the movie, he was
Nathan
so
Fillion loves
much.
those characters.
He was perfect as Guy Gardner. I mean, Nathan Fillion, honestly, I love Nathan Fillion to death, but Nathan Fillion plays Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Like I've
Mostly.
never really seen him play anything that wasn't similar to everything else that he's played, even though it was a very different role. Like in The Rookie, he's the guy in Castle who was the guy in Firefly, who was, I mean, it's all Nathan Fillion. There are actors that totally inhabit a role, and that role is iconic. And he is just Nathan Fillion, but he's awesome. So that is great. Oh my God!
If you love him, if you don't love him, that's a problem.
Mr. Terrific was an important cast member of Green Arrow Squad. There was a Green Arrow Squad.
The backup people for the show, the Arrow, the show.
Okay. I didn't watch it long enough. It was garbage.
It was sporadically, I liked parts of it. I never liked all of it, but like the first couple seasons, I really liked. But he became like a. I forgot. I mean, I remember the actor. I remember the character. I forgot that he was called Mr. Terrific. Like I forgot that, but he was. That was him. Sorry. I watched the show. I watched way more of the show than I should have. I watched the show past the point where it had died a creepy death.
Back in the
I watched
day,
most of the first season and then thought, I don't know.
Back in the day in comics, there was the possibly dumbest superhero team up ever in comics, and that was Green Arrow and Green Lantern.
Yes.
Because green.
Yeah.
That was the only reason.
That's the only reason.
And Green Arrow is a guy who shoots arrows. He's basically DC's Hawkeye. And Green Lantern is a space cop with unlimited power.
Power Man and Iron Fist, just because they are both based on exploitation films from the 70s.
But that wasn't dumb. That was great.
I don't know that you're right.
I'm remembering that sentence. I don't know if you're right. It's a wonderful way to disagree with someone.
I'm uncertain. Yeah. Green Arrow. Green Arrow was actually my all-time favorite DC character back in the day. He was a very cranky archer. He was basically Robin Hood. He in his secret life, he ran a company called Sherwood Florist. He did.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Green Arrow is really cool. And I watched the Arrow show. And first of all, that guy is not Green Arrow. Not even close. And but I was like, okay, it's a different thing, and we'll just watch it and take it for what it is.
It was on the what was it, the CW?
CW, yeah. And most of those shows are actually kind of garbage waiting to happen.
Yeah,
Well, they're aimed at a market, and so they're cast for that market, and that's.
And it was okay to start with.
I was like, okay.
I watched it. I also watched it for a season or two, and it just started.
It drifts.
Drifting off, and they were doing all this weird crossover shit with other shows, and I was just like, nah, I think I'm out. Iron Fist was the same thing. I was like, this is the whiniest superhero dude I've ever seen. He is annoying me just by opening his mouth.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Iron Fist,
no.
But I loved Jessica Jones.
And Luke Cage was also awesome. I liked the way they did Luke Cage on screen anyway.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones was really good, but I did not enjoy it. I don't like any of the people on that show, and I didn't like spending time with them. And it was like, I can recognize the craft was beautiful, the writing was great, performances were great, stories were great, every line was well written, but I just hated them all. I'm like, I didn't like Jessica Jones. Like I think she's a wonderful character because she's this beautiful portrayal of a traumatized person doing her best, right? Like, I mean, it was great in the sense of being like the craft was phenomenal, but I just didn't like her. I'm just like, just snap this guy's neck already. I can't take this anymore. I get why, like, it was totally believable that she was having the feeling she was having and having the conflict she was having was believable. It was, but I didn't want
not enjoyable.
I don't want to watch it. I'm like, you're a
No,
fucking train wreck. I don't want to be here for this. I'm like, it's a great, well-drawn train wreck, but I don't want to see it. But I rewatched it with my wife because she hadn't seen it the first time because I watched it when they came out. She watched it recently. And she's like, so she's watching, we're watching together. And after like the whole season, I'm like, oh, I didn't like this. Now I know, or like it was good, but I didn't like it. And now I know why.
Okay.
It's
for me. I'm like, this was my problem because I didn't love it the first time, but I was like, this is really good. I should love it, yet I don't. It's because I hate her. Not hate her. It's not the right word.
You've bounced off that character and gone.
It's exactly the reason I couldn't watch Mad Men.
Yeah.
Mad Men was super popular, and I was like, okay, I got to get on this show. And I watched like 3 episodes, and I was like, I actually texted a friend, and I was like, is literally everyone in this show a raging asshole? And they were like, yeah, isn't it great? And I was like, no, I'm not enjoying spending time with these people. I really
got so angry in the first half episode. I was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
Because I am outraged. And
But it's
the only thing I quit faster was the American abomination of The Watch. I rage quit out of that so fast.
Never watched it.
Don't. That is offensive in its existence, and my mouth couldn't get any smaller if I tried.
Yeah, I was thinking about it because The Sopranos wasn't that much different, but I liked it. I really enjoyed it, and I watched the whole thing. But there were characters to sympathize with.
Tony had charisma. Tony had charisma in a way that's hard to explain. Figuring out why you root for Tony Soprano is really interesting because he's really not a good person.
He's a very bad man.
He's a very bad man. But you cannot when he gets into trouble with other mafiosos and there's a conflict, you root for Tony hard. And why do you? I think it's partially because Gandolfini is a genius.
He is.
Well, and also like just the way Tony's written, we get an insight into Tony that we don't get into anyone else. Like we are in his therapy sessions, you know, and we know, at least to start with, he's trying to understand himself, maybe change. He's not trying that hard to change, really, but like he's actually going to therapy and trying to deal with some stuff. So we get an insight into him that we don't get into anyone else in the show.
He's trying to deal with stuff because
For me,
his
he was
panic attacks are putting
consistent in
he's not
himself.
trying to be a better man. Like he's
No,
not
I know.
trying, he's just trying to not have panic attacks.
But
and
the
go
but the
along being terrible more efficiently.
there's kind of a fake out in that show. I think you start off and he kind of wins sympathy because he is actually bothering to go to therapy and is trying to change and develop, and then it becomes clear that, like you said, he's just doing that because it's an obstacle to him being more horrible. You know, and by the end of the show you're just like, could someone kill this guy already? He is actually just horrible. Or at least
To me, it was an internal consistency, and there's something that you don't. What's the word I'm looking for? People can be very wishy-washy, and that is one of the most irritating things on the planet. When you know someone that you can't consistently predict, you can predict Tony. He's going to react this way every time to this kind of situation, and there's something really secure about that. It's oddly comforting being able to predict somebody like that. And I liked him.
We all like the power fantasy. One of my favorite things in The Sopranos was where Dr. Melfi, and I hated the beginning. I hated the storyline, but I loved it when she gets raped by like a stranger in a parking garage, and then at one point you can see, I don't know if she says it or if you just realize she knows it. She can tell 2 words to Tony, and that guy ends up in a box.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you love Tony because you would love to be the guy who could put that other dude in a box, right? I would love to be able to make a call and like, this guy hurt. He ends up in a
someone I care about,
right?
Yeah.
He ends up just make a phone call, right? Take out your cell phone, and like 2 days later, that guy's in a box. And that sounds in that situation. And I think she doesn't tell Tony. I don't think, but I think at one point she's like, I could. And again, I don't even remember if she says it out loud or if there's a conversation because I watched the show.
It's the knowledge that I think any woman who's been in that situation wants to have. You want to know that if you really needed that, you know someone who could do it.
Yeah. And there's a scene where he's in a restaurant, right? And there's this kid sitting there with a hat on. It's a nice restaurant. He looks at the kid, he's like, take your hat off, right? Yeah. And the kid's like, who that for you, right? And he's like, take your hat. And you realize that he's saying it in a way because he knows, again, he can make a call and this kid never sees another sunrise. And you're like, I kind of wish I could make kids take their hats off in nice restaurants, because I don't care about hats exactly, but it's that public disrespect of the space. And you're
right. It's,
but even that has got 2 levels because like the first moment you think, I'd like to have that power too. And then if you're thinking a little bit more, you think that's actually horrible. Like,
but not if I had it, because I'm so delightful. Oh,
okay.
If I were running the mafia.
I'm going to be at Nanny Og for a moment here and go, well, knowing that I could, I think I would like to have that knowledge that I could. I would quite like to know that I'm choosing not to, but I could if I wanted.
It's being the person who has the one ring, though.
I'm not interested in the one ring.
I would be happy to take the one ring and just see if that whole power corrupts thing is true.
I'm not interested.
Just as a test, would I become a Dark Lord?
Just as an experiment.
Let me find it.
I just want to know when I'm anywhere that I'm the scariest person.
I didn't know I was joining the group of delusions of grandeur today.
Yeah.
I don't want the one ring.
It's
one of the Discworld Witches things, is that they're not afraid of anything because the scariest thing in any given situation is them. And that's kind of where I want to be. Yeah, they're not going to use their power.
That's why I write the books I write. That's Rohan in a nutshell. He goes in a room. He's like, I'm probably the scariest one here. I'm not going to lord. I'm not the bully. But if push
I'm not
comes
going
to
to use that power. But you don't want to piss me off. Just saying.
That's most of my favorite scenes in the books to write.
Knowing that you're never going to run into a problem you can't handle would be nice. Yeah. Although also having read your first book, Joe, that gets Rowan in trouble because there are problems he can't handle. You know.
Well,
Otherwise, it wouldn't be interesting. Mitch, yes, I did. I watched the first episode of Succession and thought, oh, this is just Mad Men again.
I had the same problem.
In a later time period, they're all assholes.
I'm the one that
I'm not interested.
Yep.
And I know they're all meant to be. I mean, that is clear, but it's I have with a lot of shows, I kind of have the same attitude I have towards people I just met. Like, there are people I meet where after talking to them for 15 minutes, I think, hey, let's go get a lot of beers. I would love to have a beer with you. I'd love to have a chat with you. Let's hang out. And there are other people where I think, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So I hope I never encounter you again.
Yeah, exactly. You are an unpleasant asshole. So it's the same with shows. If I don't want to spend time with the people in the show, and I mean, I don't want to spend time with Tony Soprano either, obviously. But I mean, I'm sure he'd be an interesting guy to have a beer. But there are a lot of people to sympathize with in the story in different ways, and it's not just mean people being mean people to be mean people. You know, like, I don't know if it's understandable, but yeah, I just don't really like a show that's just about everybody being mean, and it doesn't have that much more to it than that. You know, that to me isn't that fun. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
I haven't watched anything new for ages.
I watched, strangely enough, Wednesday recently.
Oh, I want to
Although
watch
I don't
Wednesday,
think
but I don't have that streaming service.
I don't think I've finished the new season quite yet. I've got a couple more episodes to go. It's kind of fun. I mean, it's obviously aimed at people younger than me.
Yeah.
But a lot of things are that we enjoy and get into. But it's very I'm blanking on the director's name.
Burton,
yeah, Tim Burton. It's very Tim Burton. So like everything is immaculately production designed, and everything has a very clearly, like, sometimes you watch shows and it's like they put some things there, but it looks like everything was sort of as they found it.
Yeah.
Tim Burton, everything in his entire he's ever done,
the aesthetic is always impeccable.
Everything is exactly like the angle and the lighting and the colors and you know, all of that. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that kind of detail and effort put into details.
I specifically like Tim Burton. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head of anything he's done that I've bounced off of. There's usually something about it that I just enjoy, whether it's the slightly weird angle he's telling the story from or the kookiness of the story. Just the way he twists things works for me. Yeah. I also saw a video on YouTube, which was an interview with the guys who did the prosthetics work, specifically Thing. Oh. And it was amazing. They actually built a remote control robot thing that they could control, and it would just walk around like this. They had obviously they had a hand actor that was doing a lot of the shots, and they just CGI'd it off and, you know, whatever. But there were a lot of shots where, like, Wednesday's walking somewhere and Thing is following her from with a wide shot, and they actually have an animatronic thing that they can make crawl around. Very, very cool. That makes my heart happy.
Yeah, it's nicely done. I mean, it's not Shakespeare, obviously.
That's old school of me, though, isn't it? It's that real. What's the word I'm looking for?
Nerdery?
No. With special effects, it's not CGI. It's practical. It's a practical effect, and I love practical effects because they always translate properly on screen. And they
should sell the robot hands. I bet people would buy them.
They would make a fortune.
I'm guessing none of us regularly shop for toys. they may already have those.
This
It
is
would
true.
not surprise me at all, because Wednesday was a big hit. Like I've been actually surprised, because it's the only show I think I've seen on Netflix ever that did show themed ads. Like the people that want to advertise with them, like hotels.com, did a Addams Family themed ad to show only before
Right.
Wednesday.
Yeah, they've clearly got a massive audience.
They have a Netflix logo intro, you know, where they do the da-da and the end comes and all
Yep.
the little colorful lines and everything. They have one of those, which is Wednesday themed.
Well,
Right. So it's been a big deal for them. I can imagine someone's on top of the merchandising.
I would say so.
And there are Wednesday costumes to buy, and probably a thing that you can turn on and he'll walk around and I don't know what. Yeah.
I'll tell you who needs good merchandising is Matt Dinnerman. Because I had to buy this sign off of a not licensed site. I would rather give my money for merchandising to something that profits Matt Dinnerman.
He's
Sure.
got
But I can't
multiple
find
adaptations
any.
happening right now. He's got a webtoon. He's got a TV show or two.
It'll be happening, I'm sure. But
Lots.
where is the merch? I want the merch.
But the guy is busy. He's got a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
stuff.
I know.
And there's going to be some big checks.
I just really hope the merch is coming, because the merch is going to go mental.
And he is the,
Honestly, like fantasy, sci-fi, comics, all of them, I find them really poorly marketed as far as merch goes. Like I have more than one Hellboy shirt.
Yeah. But
I
how
had to
many
buy
else?
them off of like Redbubble or Thread Store, or, you know, one of these make
Yeah.
your own t-shirts kind of stores.
That's right.
I had to get all of those because I looked around and there had been at some point 15 years ago Hellboy shirts made,
Yeah.
but like you can't get them anymore, and those were the only official ones I could find
Yeah,
because
and I would
Dark
rather-
Horse just never
Yeah.
really bothered.
I don't have a lot of discretionary funds, but I would rather spend the money and buy official merchandise than not. But there simply isn't any that I could find for Dungeon Crawler Carl. I was like, but I want something on my shelves, because I can't afford to get the books shipped here, because, oh my God, shipping to New Zealand is ridiculous.
Well, it would be the same with official merch.
I'm prepared to pay it.
light-
for merch.
lighter than
It's
books,
not going
but-
to be $65
Yeah,
for a thing plus shipping,
yeah,
which is how much any one of the books will cost me.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
that's too much.
yeah. We're in the same.
I have-
We're kind of in the same boat, you and I. It's worse for you, but like most of the nerd world comes from the US.
Yeah.
And whenever I think, oh, I'd like to have this something, like, oh,
Well,
you can
all
only
of
get
my
it from the
Discworld
US, and the
stuff
postage
is
costs
official.
as much as the thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My shipping on the Discworld stuff is always huge, but I'm prepared to pay it because I don't want to just be throwing my money to anybody. Discworld is so close to my heart. I want that Discworld estate to have it. Like, no, I'm buying from official sources.
Sure.
I love this series. I treasure it. So I'm not going to disrespect. It feels weird, but yeah, disrespect this thing that I love by getting rip-off stuff, because that's a weird thing to have discovered about
For
myself.
anyone who's
Yeah, I
old,
would rather it went to the right people.
you can do it yourself as well. For anyone who's old and into comics, in university I was very into Mage by Matt Wagner, and I looked like back then. I looked just like the main character, Kevin Matchstick. I had longish dark hair, dark beard. I looked a lot like him, so I related very strongly to him. And he other than the part of him being a reincarnation of King Arthur, I wasn't that. But he's not a superhero in the normal sense. The only thing he has is he always wears a black T-shirt with a really big white lightning bolt on it.
Oh yeah.
And when I was in university, I worked in a T-shirt factory.
Oh, so that was achievable. That
So
was
I
something
asked
you
my boss,
could do.
"Hey, can I use the gear after work? And you know, when we're closed, and I made myself like 5 of these exactly the same shirt. I mean, if you're going to make a screen, you may as well
Yeah,
screen
use
print
it.
5. I could have screen print like 500 and sold them, but I didn't want to rip off anything. But I couldn't get the official shirt. There was one, but I couldn't get it. Sold out. So I made myself one.
Yeah.
Or 5. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I mean, that would work if there was anything I could wear that was Dungeon Crawler Carl. But I'm not likely to go anywhere in a pair of boxer shorts. So making them isn't really making a difference to anything. And yeah. I'm not
looking at that sign behind you, it's very screen printable.
Yes, I am looking at it now thinking, but I could probably do all of the book covers myself on a piece of canvas.
Yeah.
Should have thought of that first.
The Japanese like manga anime crowd is better at that.
Mm.
I go to like the anime conventions, and if you wanted like Naruto merch, like the headbands and like the little weapons and the jackets, and just there was an unending supply of that stuff.
I'm sure if Comic-Con was in Germany and I could go, I would find tons of comic merch there. But my local comic shop is a very small comic shop, and they don't stock a whole bunch of stuff. They did have a shirt. I was there a couple of days ago, and they did have a shirt I almost bought. It was a character that I don't know, obviously from a comic, but I've never seen him before. And it was like this guy doing a very funky pose and with like a crazy facial expression. And he's wearing a T-shirt that says "fuck AI."
Okay, I like that.
And I was like, I'm tempted. I'm really tempted to get that, but yeah.
I do like the sound of that one. But when you're limited in terms of access to things, and your best chance is the internet, searching for official merch is pretty easy because official merch into the machine and it gives you official merch.
Sure.
And when you can't find any, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. Because it's a bit like pirating TV shows or movies back in the day. It's like, just give me a legal way to get them and I will use it. Now you can stream, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to watch it because if I wanted to, I could pay the streamer and I can do it. So I don't, download off some random site that's going to infect my computer because I can get it legally. It's when I can't that I just
I'll tell you, Etsy is a never-ending source of cool nerd shit. And none of it's official, obviously, but like if there's no official anything available, I'll go to Etsy and find something. I've got numerous Malazan t-shirts. I've got a Malazan mug, all from a guy in Poland. Same guy. He does t-shirts, he does pottery, he does all sorts of different stuff for lots of different IPs.
The library signs. I'm assuming it's a guy, maybe a woman. I like knowing that it's a specific person who is specifically making these things, and it's not being just poured out of a sweatshop in China. Yeah. So there's that element to it. It's like I really would rather not be funding those.
It's being poured out of a 3D printer in Ukraine.
This is being 3D printed out of a small home, I think, somewhere in America. I'm prepared to, small home businesses, good on them. They've found a niche, they're working it. I will support these people. Not a problem.
I just remembered. My coolest nerd merch is coming up. Ooh. So has everybody read the King Killer Chronicles? Nope. You haven't read the King Killer Chronicles? You should.
That's
They're
Name
good.
of the Wind, isn't it?
Yeah, Name of the Wind, and
I have read it. Remember nothing.
Yeah, there is a board game in the books called Tak, and Tak plays a big role in numerous scenes. There are different characters playing, and very often what they're playing for is much bigger stakes than just the game. They've made promises to each other. If I win, that kind of thing. And the game is described in a way where you're like, this sounds really fascinating, but it's never described in such a way that you could play it.
Yes.
It's not like 100% clear. And at some point, years after the books were written, a guy who is a professional board game designer, whose name I forget right now, actually, No, I can't see it. He knew a guy who knew Pat Rothfuss.
Ooh.
And this friend of theirs was like, I would like to see this game exist. So you two really need to meet. And they got together and created a rule set for it and board and everything. And it became this niche.
That makes my nerd heart happy.
Yeah. No, I was like, I think I read it. I was reading the books for the second time, and I was like, I wonder if there's anything about Tak. It's TAK, right? And I went and Googled it, and I found this really weird hidden corner of the internet with people talking about Tak and the story of getting it together, and you could order the game, and I did.
Okay, yes, that's cool.
Now it's many, many years later. I played it a fair bit, and it's actually one of the best abstract board games I've ever played, which is surprising. I expected it to be kind of a novelty because it's like came out of a fantasy novel and it wasn't really written to be an actual game, and it's really good. It's really engaging and fascinating and complex. Not complicated, but complex to play. And very simple rules, but really complex gameplay. And it can be played from like really small to quite large on different side boards and all of that sort of stuff. And I remembered it recently and I was like, I would actually like to have a proper Tak board. And I found a guy online who makes them. There is a Tak Association of America that has tournaments. Like online and in-person tournaments. They just had a huge tournament at Gen Con, the big gaming convention in the US. And I wrote to this guy, Bill, in the States, and together we designed a Tak board. And he's making me like a really nice wooden Tak board. He just sent me photos of it today. So
you have commissioned nerdy fantasy stuff. I like it.
It's going to be maple and cherry wood with little accents, which are like discs of brass and pewter, which sort of go with the pieces I've got. So yeah, and it's very portable as well, so I can take it with me to.
I hear myself getting squeaky. This is exciting.
It's totally cool.
I'm so fancy.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah,
in a good way.
It's a really. It's a really, really, no, actually, it's funny, Peter. This is what reminded me of it because something came up on the fireside.
Oh, Mike and his wife, Robin, are amazing for creating stuff for people.
Somebody on the fireside, I don't remember how it came up. Somebody mentioned something about a board game. And I said, that sounds like Nefertafel, which is an old Viking board game that really existed, like a real... which is an asymmetrical chess kind of game. You start out with kind of a circle of soldiers in the middle with the king right in the middle of the circle. And on the outside are the attackers. And it's basically the attackers are trying to get to the king. The king's trying to get out. And I've got a Nefertafel board as well. And we started talking about it. And Mike Mindelen, posted a Nefertafel board and a Tak board that a friend of his made him, like a nice wooden, like burned on board. And then I was like, that's right, Tak. I haven't thought about my Tak game in ages. I should get my Tak game out. It's really cool. It's a really, really cool game.
Speaking of Mike and his wife, they made a couple of things for me. She found out I was a Firefly fan. So this is embroidered fabric that I framed.
Oh, wow.
And then they also sent me, because they're amazing, wonderful people. Where are we? Anyone who's a Dresden fan?
So the Unseelie Accords. Yeah.
Very cool.
And that's one of my touchstones. Those and my Hob books. Like, this is how important these people are to me. Because they've literally made a fundamental difference in keeping me here. So they're tangible evidence that no, my computer people are real. Because, it can feel a bit surreal that I spend so much energy interacting with the screen. It's like,
We exist,
worries.
probably.
She's like, but in real life, are you getting out of the house? Like, no, you don't get it. These people are amazing. She's like, She doesn't believe the booktube community is amazing. She hears me talk about it and she's like, it just doesn't sound real.
You should invite her to the pub sometime.
I have let her know it exists. And when I get gifts like this and I tell her, she's like, really? Yeah. These are nice people on the internet.
I just swear at you every week to make you get out of bed and come to the pub.
I don't know what it is, but there's something in the tone that just makes me laugh and realize that I can get out of bed. I can do that. And
this time we were texting and Derry started to make excuses and I said, shut the fuck up and be there. And that was it.
Yeah. Okay.
And here she is. It worked.
All right.
It worked.
I don't know what it is about the tone, but it works. So yay. I'm out of bed. I got dressed and everything. I'm not even in my jammies.
Normally undressed on the pub, but this time she actually dressed.
No, but often I am in my jammies.
That's true. That's true.
I have clothes on. So,
we appreciate it.
I don't know, it could improve ratings otherwise. I don't know.
Yeah, or just.
I am a long way from those days. Okay.
In case of emergency, in case of low viewership.
I could start telling stories.
Put it on OnlyFans.
I'm a lot of years away from those days. But not to say I didn't have them.
Yes, Peter. The amount of spear cuts through water that Evie has sent is surreal.
Yeah, seriously, my therapist is like, this woman can't repeat. She's not real. I'm like, no, she's like, you've made her up in your head. I'm like, no, she's real. She exists. I talked to her. And she's like, but you met her on the internet. I suppose as a therapist.
I don't think she's read the book. I think she was accidentally sent a pallet of them at some point in the past that she had to get rid of. And they're sitting in her garage, and she's been spouting, getting everyone you got to read this book. I'll send you one.
Only pallet, which is why no one else can get them anymore.
Exactly. They're sold out because Evie got all of them.
Seriously.
He's sitting there like, what do I do with all these books?
Yeah.
She doesn't even like it, but she's got to say it now. She's got to talk it up.
Yeah.
So she can get
she's
rid
in
of
it
them
now.
one by one.
But no, she's just the most wonderful person. Thank you. But yeah, I think because therapist, her normal interactions where the internet, thank you, Ron, is a negative place. The internet tends to be very nasty and tends to be a not helpful thing for people's mental state. And so her go-to advice is spend less time on the computer.
I've been playing a new video game called Helldivers 2. And Helldivers 2 is basically the movie Starship Troopers in a game.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So it's like parody of fascism, parody of controlling government, parody of creating a war just to have a war, parody of racism or prejudice against other species, like all of the things that Starship Troopers is doing, this game is doing. And it's basically just a squad shooter. 4 people get together and play together, and you land on a planet and shoot all the bugs or shoot all the bots. And there are different kinds of enemies. And normally, when I start a new game, I'm very prepared for the entire community to be just like flaming assholes.
The 14-year-olds you banned from the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about this game. Maybe it's the particular brand of humor or what it is.
Anti-fascism, perhaps?
Yeah. Just recently, Xbox got the game. PC and PlayStation have had it for a long time. Xbox got it last week. And normally, every gaming community I know would be like, oh no, we're going to have so many noobs ruining our runs, and it's going to be so slow and it's going to be so annoying. These guys organized events to get Xbox players together with veterans, bring in equipment that the new players do not have, and just drop it for them to use. Here's a mech, get in it. That kind of thing. Just like awesome stuff. And I got together with two of my friends. The three of us all were brand new. We ended up with like one of our first runs with a rando. We ended up with a veteran. He did exactly that. He's like, here's this cool backpack. Here's this cool weapon. Here's a mech. Here's a car, and he brought in all this really cool stuff. And we were like, what, for like me? And he kept pinging it like equipment. We're like, okay, I guess he didn't bring it in for him. I'm going to get in the mech. And like,
That's amazing.
It's such a good community. It's really, really cool.
And
it's
the fact
nice.
that it's astonishing to us is in itself kind of sad. But it's, again, my therapist, she's so ready for the internet to be a negative space.
If only real life were like that, right?
About this one, she was like, that it doesn't exist. What are you talking about? It's become one of her opening questions.
The problem is you can get wonderful experiences out of the internet, but you can't do it by engaging with things in the default methodology for engaging in things.
No, that's right.
Because like Facebook doesn't want to give you a pleasant experience. It wants to enrage you. So you, in a rage, engage with it, which is the way that they make the most money.
Outrageous engagement. Yeah.
You've got to curate your engagement in such a way that it serves you, which is not what they want, but it is possible. So like Twitter is such a great example, right? Like I just block people and mute people very fast.
Yes.
And if I see, but if you click on something that enrages you and you click the like button and you repost it, that is all you will see for the rest of your life on Twitter.
Yeah.
So you just gotta like, okay, and I'll do this with things that I agree with. Someone will post something, this terrible thing is happening. I'm like, that is terrible. People should know about it. I'm gonna like and repost, and then you're doomed because then that's all I see. And it's sort of like you've got to have this mentality where like I don't like and repost things that I agree with. I like and repost the things I want to see more of, which is not the same thing. And then you can have a wonderful experience even on Twitter, right? You just have to be careful.
I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago with my brother-in-law. He was showing me a couple of things that he enjoys on YouTube. And he was saying, but I don't get a lot of stuff that I really like. I said, that's because you follow people, don't you? And he goes, well, yeah. I'm like, don't follow anybody. And then you're always going to get random. And once you decide what sort of things you like, then start following people. But only a couple. Make sure you include something random that's completely different, because then the algorithm gets confused and you're still going to get some random because it's not really sure what you like. And he just looked at me and went, I should have thought of that. And I'm like, yeah, you should.
It's stunning. It's stunning to me how many people, I mean, I work in technology, so I'm used to it, I guess. But it's stunning to me how many people, first of all, don't understand the tools that they're using all day long.
Yeah.
And of the people who do seem to understand it, or maybe at least have a bit of an idea how it works, don't use it to make it do what they want.
Yeah.
It's just stunning to me. Like I constantly see people getting really outraged that Facebook is doing a certain thing or Twitter is doing a certain thing. And I'm like, they're providing you a free service. Yeah. They're providing you a free service. So what is the product? You're not giving them any money. What is the product? You are the product, right? The only way they're making any money is by you being there and you using the thing. And therefore, they're going to do everything they can to make money off of you without you giving them any money. That's the deal.
Yeah.
You may not like it. It does feel a little bit slimy and maybe evil. You may not like it, but that is the deal.
Yeah.
And YouTube's no different. Like none of these companies have your best interest at heart. That's not what they're there for.
Businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they're not making money because you're giving them money, they're making money some other way. What is that
because
way?
they're making money, and if it's not from you, it's from someone else. Who's the someone else? What are they doing to make it worth their money? Oh, it's eyeballs from the public.
You know how Amazon makes most of its money? Like not most of its money, the largest portion of the money that Amazon makes. Yeah. They make by screwing their distributors. So when you give Amazon money, you are giving them straight up money for something that they don't have yet.
No, that's right.
often. And they have something like a 90-day payment scheme with their providers, right? So they get your money 90 days before they have to give it to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
The largest part of Amazon, I mean, disregarding their completely side businesses like the servers and all of that, but Amazon, the bookstore or the stuff store, the largest part of that business is developing financial software. They have all of this automated investment software that is taking this 90 days of money and making it make more money.
Mm.
So they've got all this money sitting around that they don't have to give anyone else, that you gave them already. They're
And
off
a lot of
investing in
major
it.
corporations do that in their payment terms. They will have long payment terms. It's having worked in offices for a lot of years, I'm aware of that as a strategy. Something I do in New Zealand, because Amazon in general doesn't work for New Zealand. It's too far away. It's the shipping. No, we have our own local little buy, sell, trade place.
Amazon-ish.
It's called Trade Me, and you can put on new stuff there and new people. And one of the things I do is if I see something I like and it's new, I will go into the seller's information. And if they're a company, I will go to their website and buy through their website rather than buy through Trade Me, because Trade Me are taking a cut of that. Why? Because that's where I found it. One more click and I can find the actual source, and I can usually find that same thing for cheaper.
Yeah.
Because they're not having to mark it up to cover the cut that Trade Me is going to take.
Yeah.
So, not hard. And Amazon does do that. It does give you the seller information. So, maybe that's the thing that we've got to start doing if we're going to fight Amazon, is to tell people, just find the source and then go there.
Although Amazon, especially if you're in America, Amazon kind of short circuits that by offering a large amount of the stuff they offer for cheaper. No, for cheaper.
Oh,
then
for cheaper,
you can get it
volume.
elsewhere because they buy it in bulk, or they have a deal with the manufacturer or whatever, So people are always gonna buy it. I mean, in Germany, book prices are regulated.
I know, such a wonderful thing,
because they're considered cultural goods.
Yeah,
and they don't want to kill local bookstores. So it's actually regulated by the government. There are prices for books. Unless you're selling them used or having a very short-term sale, you can't just discount things. Books. Yeah. So like buying from Amazon or buying from my nerdy local sci-fi fantasy bookstore, Otherland, is the same price-wise.
Yeah.
So if I'm feeling like going out and not feeling lazy, I will go to Otherland and buy books instead of going to Amazon. But yeah, in America, like you can get it 10, 15, 20% cheaper, and it gets delivered to your door.
Usually it's a good thing, unless you live somewhere else and that saving is then offset by shipping.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're like, oh, that's a great deal. And then you get it to your cart and you go, oh, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta run. I have a denouement to finish.
Yes.
A denouement.
A
A denouement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for hanging out. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Joe. Good to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Good luck with your denouement.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah. I was actually thinking it's not a bad time for me to end it as well. It's almost 10:30 in the evening here. It has been a pleasure as always. Thank you.
It's okay.
Fitz is fine. Fitz is just patiently staring at me from the living room.
Did the clocks change? Is everything okay?
No, it's past dinner time for her.
Yeah.
And she's being Fitz?
Patient.
She's being much more patient than usual. Like normally she would be circling around my feet and yelling at me. I'm not sure. Are you okay, Fitz? Come here. She's just staring at me. That's
usually
like
when I
crazy.
realize that we've gone on long enough, is when Fitz is that sort of telling you, it's dinner time. I'm starving.
Yeah. Usually I'll sort of schedule one of the sprints to overlap with 10 o'clock so I can I can go and feed her, but we didn't have any sprints, and I don't know. Are you okay?
Okay, well, we're not going to jinx it.
No. I'm going to go feed her in 5 minutes, so she'll survive. Thank you both for being here. Thank you everybody else who joined on screen. It was a pleasure. Thank you for joining in the chat. Everybody who joined in the chat, it is always a pleasure. It's good to be back. I have missed the pub. 3 weeks without pub is not a good idea. That was stupid. I will endeavor to be motivated enough every Sunday from now on till ever.
Okay.
To do the pub. So good to see you all. See you all next Sunday, and have a great week and read awesome shit.